buy land today, while building, they encroach on other people's property. But this land digitization will eliminate that. It will also make revenues accruing to the government to enter into the purse of government, because you will pay through the government payment system. If you do that, it will be accredited. Even if you have lost your receipt, punch it, it will show that you have done it. So land digitization is what I think that this government has taken up, that is going very well. Again, yesterday I commend the Enugu State government for launching security drone system. That drone system has a lot of potential that people did not know, but I won't speak much on that because I'm not empowered to do that. But land digitization, I think the government is doing it, and is very apt. When you are moving as a government, you must move ahead of the people. You have moved ahead of the system. The world is changing with rapid speed, and the Enugu State government want to change our world at the same time so that people can grow up and see that things. One of the major things that is lacking in Nigeria is accurate data. So, but this land digitization will ensure accurate data of lands in Enugu State, so that anybody who intends to invest can invest with confidence, who want to buy land can buy land with confidence, and the government will have its revenue. The owners of the land will not spend their money in litigation and going to court and so on and so forth. So I commend the government of Enugu State for initiating this program, and I still support that the government will continue to engage the people of Enugu State through town hall meetings and conferences as they proposed before. I don't know why that conference was botched, but it is very important that the government will still go ahead with it, so that people of Enugu will be well informed and appreciate the effort of government and flow with the government.
Yes, yes. To why it was postponed, I think government has issued a communique. It coincided with budget presentation of the state government. Yes, but now that we're speaking about it, I want to ask, what do you think that informed this idea of digitization of land property in Enugu? And is it only empty plot of land that we are digitalizing in Enugu State as well?
What informed it was as a result of encumbrances on properties, frauds. A lot of fraudulent matters on land sales have been going on. A lot of land disputes has been going on. A lot of discrepancies, maneuvers and manipulations have been going on because there was no clear data system. So the government wants to put in place a data that can be reliable. That you come from America, you want to buy a land, somebody will put it on through WhatsApp or through advertisement. You Google to inquire about the potency of the property, the accuracy of the ownership. Because the digitization, when you come with the survey plan. Each survey beacon has numbers. That every estate have a master plan. You see, one of the major reasons why we have so many issues in Enugu, you see some areas where you have road in the original master plan. But in the course of population growth and appreciation of the land, some people may go and sell part of the road system. And people will build hard on the road and make it a road close. It has happened in so many various ways. But if you have a master plan that is digitized, if you punch it whenever anybody wants to build or want to sell the road to you, you will know that this is road proposed. If you hear government saying we are going to the master plan, people will not know what the master plan is all about. People will not know what is contained in the master plan. The master plan from the origin, because when you want to establish an estate, you will draw a design of the estate, situate where the school will be, state where the road will be, where will be the public park. You will also situate where churches will also be there and the names of the churches. And the government will register the estate for you. Now you begin to sell. At some point, people will abandon the proposed park, as happened in Abuja, and convert it to residential building. So when the government wants to enforce the details of the master plan, that is why people will say our government is demolishing their properties. For instance, if you are moving along Abani Road, you will see a massive setback. When that Abani Road was designed, the people who designed it knew that today will be, and the next 50 years, there will be a heavier movement of vehicular traffic. So they set a very high setback and tell people where to stop. But you see along Abani Road, you will see some people encroaching on that very setback, revoking individually, revoking the public right of way. So when government want to construct a road, those obstructions will be removed without compensation because it was not contained in the master plan. In the master, what was there is setback. So this digitization is a very proper one that everybody should be happy about, support the government about, so that nobody will say, I buy land, they took it away from me. If you buy land, you just know the number where you buy the land. 100 years, it will be there. So that is the essence of digitization of land and land purposes in Enugu State. So
invariably, government has solved the issue of fraud.
Fraud is eliminated, yes. Then again, manipulations is also eliminated. You see, and also when you want to, it will put a wage on the side of civil servants. Before you see anybody establishing a structure on public right of way, there are government officials that will give them tacit approval, and they will do that. But if any government, after digitization, you exceed, you are bound. You exceed, you are bound. The government is due to punish you because you have seen it in the digital system. And anybody can come to anybody that is encroaching on public right and say, stop, this is it. And you put a petition, and with the digitized plan, master plan, and the people will be compared to recede to his original plot, point of original bound. So this digitization is a very good one that should be commended, so that not tomorrow you will be looking for one document or the other. If you don't have that document, system will show you. Yes. So when you have a land, the land you have your phone number, your full name, your biodata, anybody that is coming to buy, because lands now, people don't sell their lands. You sell your land through the agents. So the agent will give you every information. But with this land digitization, if you want to sell your land, you can put it on sale. Anybody will ask you a question and you take advantage of that and do your business the way you want to do it and move on without let or hindrance.
Okay. Ame Saibago, yes, you've given us an in-depth knowledge of what the conceptualization and what everything is all about. But I want to ask, are you not worried that this would eliminate the agents, giving rise to another economic challenge? Because you see the position of agents, they thrive on those agent fees and all that. And government has, by this digitization, has removed the middleman from the system. And that may have a negative economic impact.
Well, agency is not a profession.
If I may.
Yes.
If I may.
Yes.
The times we are in, we've seen a lot of individuals who have taken that as a profession, taking care of their family from doing the job of an agent, land speculators, house agents as well. But in one fell swoop, this would eliminate that from the system in Enugu State.
No, it will not. It will rather help the agents.
How?
So that when you are presenting a land for sale, you will be presenting facts. And the process of searching will be made very easy without much distress. So the agents should not fear. The digitization will rather favor them, okay, because it will put everybody in a plain blank. At the same time, people will know who are the genuine agents. Genuine agents will continue to do their businesses. Agent does not stop on sales of land, including location of residential houses. It will not affect the agents in any way. Rather, it will enhance them. It will also make the agency to be very easy and accessible to. Today, before agents, you begin to look for agents, but agents, they have platform now. Agents, they have platform now. If they have any land for sale, they will put it on their social media platform, WhatsApp platform, and advertise it. Some in the Facebook, they make it, this land is for sale. And those ones are more credible because it will be in the public domain that they want to sell this, they want to sell that. So that's just that. So the agents will be happier when this digitization takes place. And I hope that the government will be very fast about it and enforce and establish digitized land system in Enugu State. I commend the Enugu State government and governor once again for thinking towards that direction. And at the same time, in life we must continue to improve. Before now, it was stop and search, security. But now we have in Enugu a drone system, a command and control system, center. We have now distress response team. You see policemen, if you are going around Enugu, you see the governor of Enugu made a very wide provision of vehicles. If you are traveling from here like to Pinsoka, you will see at various sites, at a distance, you will see policemen establish their vehicle at one place, scatter themselves here and there, where the vehicle will be. They are waiting for any distress information concerning a vehicle. You see them come in full force, strategically position themselves and to track down the vehicle. And if there is any crime there, it will move. So we must not continue in the old pattern. There must be an improvement. This is the digitized world. There was a time we would use telephone of Nitel. One of the United staff that time was saying that nobody in the world can make every Nigeria to have phone. That was his poor memory then. But today, if you want to have 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers, all of them will be going at the same time. That is your business. So that is what the Enugu State government is trying to do. Right. If telephone can be at anybody's hand, if you can from here and have a video conversation with your mother who has gone to Omogo in the United Kingdom, you can also, and she will see her birds and her goats maybe still in the house intact. Because
yes.
when my mother was alive, she values her goats.
Yeah, mothers.
Yes.
Yeah. But before I let you rest on this issue of digitization, are you not worried? We want to talk about the ancestral lands in the village. How do we incorporate that into this digitization process as well?
Yes, let me give you an instance. In my town, Umabi, we have public squares so much in my town. And just a few days ago, my traditional ruler, who is Igwe Professor C.C. Ago, incidentally, is listening to me now and is viewing us now. There was an attempt by some of our boys to go and build dining in the public square. Igwe and his cabinet had an emergency meeting and stopped them. So if that public square is digitized in its drawing, everybody will come and know and see this is where it should be, this is where it should be. Without asking questions, you go to your phone, and this is what to be done in this public square, and this is not right. So our central land, our aboriginal, people will close their mind and go and sell public properties. People will, in the world we are in now, the desperation of people, they sell land as if to say there is no conscience. Even another people's land, they will sell it as if nothing will happen. In Igbo land, we respect land so much. If there are anything that deity, RC, deals with, it is the issue of land. If you are having land dispute in my place, if you want to give testimony, there is a place they will tell you. Nobody will administer oath to you. Just remove your shoe. Go there and say what you want to say. Nobody does go there. Because they know if you go there and tell her you must die. Not will, you must die. So land digitization is very, 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 very excellent. That everybody must appreciate. If you have a road design, that road will be allowed to be road. If you had a public square, that public square should be allowed. Let me tell you, in Enugu State here, are you not worried that WTC school was converted to residential houses? Are you not aware? WTC, what is WTC? Women Training College was converted to an estate in the Enugu urban here because there was no digitized. If there was this digitized, even if you build land there, you see school premises, go to issued premises here in Enugu, former issued temporary site. Most of the land has been parcellated into residential building. I saw a church sprang up there too, and so on and so forth. If you go to Transekulu Bridge, you will see. Let me not say much, but I commend the government of Enugu State for this digitized.
One more question on that. I know there are a whole lot of issues we want to attend to, but a lot of people are raising concern as regards this digitization. Those, for example, in the village, who cannot afford to do that owing to resources, is it going to be free?
I'm not the spokesperson of the Enugu State government. But land digitization and the plan to discharge our land is very commendable.
Okay.
even in the village. Let me tell you, no woman in the village will tell you that he or she has money. Nobody in the village will tell you he or she has money. During the Buhari administration in 1985, when there was change of color of naira, that is called Mbane change ego, you see people that you saw as the most wretched people in the community coming with bags of money to bank for change. So let the policy commence. Even if you don't start, if you don't have the money to do a drawing for your land and you want to sell it, it will be easy for you. It will be very easy for you. So the people that will benefit more are those that are in the village.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Let's look at other issues. Let's start with the resignation yesterday of the defense minister. That was quite unexpected, isn't it?
Yes.
Can you bear your mind to that resignation? There are a lot of analysis as to why he resigned. And this is a staunch member of your party as well, a two-term governor of Jigawa State, one of the first appointees of Mr. President, one of those that were sworn into office as at August 21st, 2023. And then suddenly, we're hearing that he resigned.
Do you know Badaru very well?
As a governor of Jigawa State, yes.
Badaru is a lawyer,
Okay.
a legal practitioner, turned politician, a governor, and was appointed Minister of Defense. He lacked the primary training of a soldier. He don't have the core knowledge of security management. He was made Minister of Defense, Minister of the Army, Minister of the Air Force, Minister of the Navy. That's the implication. America came up and said that there are killings in Nigeria by the terrorist group. And some of these terrorists are committing genocide against Christians. And it generated a lot of controversies, a lot of words, a lot of comments. In the height of it, the Minister of Defense told the whole world that where the terrorists are hiding, some of the areas the terrorists are hiding, were in thick forest, and the bomb will not reach there. That statement was viewed as unbecoming of a Minister of Defense, whose country and territory are being held by the ISWAP, Boko Haram, and other terrorist groups. So for government to say that they are hiding where bombs cannot say is one, that he, as the minister, knew exactly where the terrorists are hibernating. Two, he has also said that bombs cannot there. So he knew that bombs were not there, but he did not send the foot soldiers to go and confront. He did not move the armored tanks and other military wares that has the capacity of running out these terrorists. He was telling Nigeria, that means that he cannot. And just like one other person said that bandits will not stop in Nigeria unless Nigerians will obey what the terrorists told them to do. So that comment was too unbecoming of the Minister of Defense. Of minister in this administration's cabinet, anybody in this administration's cabinet who will say that terrorists are hiding where bombs cannot reach, that person ought not to be. So he resigned. I give kudos to him. And it is also cannot be ruled out that people are suspecting that some of our leaders may have sympathy for the terrorists, that some of the leaders may not be all out interested in the elimination of the terrorists. That is just what the perception and view of people were, and that's why it was not a good one for him to say that the bomb cannot reach the forest where terrorists. I have never had in this world a forest where bomb cannot get to. I have never had that. If bomb cannot get to the hiding place of the terrorists, let bulldozers move in there. Let military tanks move in there. And let the foot soldiers move in there and wipe up these terrorists. It has been a very challenging security problem in Nigeria since 2013 up to today.
Okay. Sir, I know you're very passionate about your party, but permit me, I may be correct then to say that this appointment was a very bad judgment call from your government, speaking to the president, on appointing Badaru as a defense minister in the first place.
Well, the president had a very good intention because the problem of insecurity is spanning from the north. During Jonathan administration, when Boko Haram started, the military was all out to deal with the Boko Haram. Some northern leaders were bold to say that a fight against Boko Haram was a fight against the north. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his wisdom, wanted the northerner to be the Minister of Defense and manage the issue of eliminating terrorists from Nigerian soil and forest. That was the intention of the government.
But that failed.
But that did not fail. That did not come true. That did not come true. Even if there has been a lot of progress, because there was a lot of progress, and until recently, when election is now coming closer, like the time of Jonathan, you begin to see an attempt to destabilize the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But I tell you that the National Security Advisor, Ribadu, will have what it takes to handle the security situation in the north. That's the case. So I commend Badaru for resigning, and I ask Mr. President to be apt in looking for a replacement, possibly from Jigawa or from the northwest, that will do justice to the insecurity that is ravaging the northwest.
All right. Before I leave this issue, it's become a tradition of this government, and I usually call it your government.
Yes?
Yes. It's become a tradition for them not to come out publicly to tell Nigerians why a minister or an appointee or a representative of the government is resigning, but it's usually perceived that your government lies to Nigerians by telling us that they are resigning on health grounds. For instance, your former party chairman, Umar Ganduje, we were told that he's resigning from that position on health grounds. Within a fortnight, he was appointed into head some government agencies. This time around, we just saw Badaru a few days ago, hell and hearty, and we are being told again that he's resigning on head ground. Why is it that it's difficult for your party to come clean to Nigerians?
Well, that you see somebody yesterday or hours ago cannot and will not stop slump and die that is prevalent in Nigeria today. So that you see somebody very big standing tall does not mean that the person is healthy. So when somebody tells you that he's resigning on health ground, your duty is to give the person a benefit of doubt. Health is wealth. If anybody dies in the course of serving this country, the country will continue to go on while you die. And there is no second half for death, that when you make a mistake and die in the process. You remember Dr. Safana? Do you remember Dr. Safana? Safana was a member of the House of Representatives. During the debate on patriarchy, he was a medical doctor. He went to the House And there was a shouting bout. He was hell and hearty, shouting and dragging his opinion. He slumped there. Medicals come to his rescue, but he died, and his death was irreversible. So when Gandhiji told you that politics is not a game you play, it's not a business you can do with frail health. So it's better you resign and have your peace and health than die as a bold man. So Badaru, who told you federal government will not stop anybody who say he want to resign on health ground. Heart disease does not show in faith. Cardiac disease does not show in faith. So I commend them, I commend Badaru for resigning. And federal government will not refute somebody's opinion on himself. If I say, please, my heart could no longer carry me this TV on, you expect the government of Enugu State or my family to come and say that I'm healthy. They cannot do that. So the president has done the most needful by accepting the resignation in good faith. So when Gandhiji was a party chairman, there were a lot party men, they don't leave. That's why I respect this Bola Ahmed and Tinubu so much. When the campaign was going on, people were saying that he's sick. I told him that this Asiwaju will wake up every 3 a.m. and go to bed between 12 and 1. Every blessed day. Since he became the president, he has never winked. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, because God is helping him to maintain a good health. So anybody who doesn't have a good health, you see. And let me use this wonderful opportunity to mourn the death of my boss, a former governorship candidate of APC, in the person of Barrister Kezia, who just lost his life. I mourn him as his former Director General. So may his gentle soul rest in peace.
Amen.
And others who are sick, look at your health, including myself.
All right. Let's come to the meat of the moment. The ambassadorial list, where we have non-career diplomats and
Political
diplomats.
appointees.
Yes. And before I go to that list, I want to get your opinion on that list. I know you've
The
seen
list
it.
has generated a lot of concerns. It has generated even a debate in the Nigerian Senate. Some of the nominees may not likely make it.
Okay.
If you want me to go into detail.
Please do. This is the insight.
Yes. Reno Omokri was the main issue in the nominee. Of all the nominees, there are 3 names that were being attacked as being unfit to be Nigerian ambassadors. One is Reno Omokri, who at various fora said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was a drug baron. And the question in the list of many is that if you say that a president was a drug baron, will you be right to be ambassador of the same country you accuse the president? The answer is no. So the president ought not to have nominated him because he has not retracted his position. And the danger there is, suppose this man you are saying to represent you before the international community, who has gone to various international community space and accused the president of being a drug baron, if you appoint him and he scaled through as an ambassador, and he goes in his ambassadorial position, and they confront him with his position, and he restates that our president is a drug baron, what do we do? If he insists. So Reno Omokri, and at the same time, he don't have control of his words. When he talks about a people, he speaks uncouth language, and that is not the best. And everybody hear him. They knew how he speaks. He don't have the character of an ambassador. During Buhari's regime, there was one Nigerian ambassador that fought with the wife along the street. Fought with his wife. We don't want a repeat of that. And another person is Mahmoud Yakubu. The 2023 election has come and gone. But people lampooned Mahmoud because of his failure to transmit results via IREV, irrespective of the quantum of billion naira that was assigned to him to do that. So Mahmoud, the international observers and Nigerians don't look at him as a man of unimpeachable character. He lacked the integrity to be a Nigerian ambassador in the international community. That is it. Then another person is Fani Kayode. Fani Kayode talks without reasoning. He has also attacked Atiwaju and APC in various ways. When he was minister under Buhari, we know how he dealt with Atiku Abubakar, and has been speaking against some, ethnic groups in Nigeria that has not been very well, and their languages are very damaging to their own image and to the image of this country. So these three people are the ones that I can tell you they don't deserve to be nominated. And I think the Senate should scream them down so that others will begin to remind their languages. On others that had so many questions, including Neya Akalo. Neya Akalo was reported to be the daughter of Ojo Zokalo. And, when we are doing politics, we must try to balance it so that people will have faith in our democracy. So I commend the president for nominating these people, but in some states there are areas where there are mistakes. This young girl that is now being nominated as a minister, I don't think that she has the capacity to be a Nigerian ambassador. Then another area where they talked about was Okezie Ikpeazu. Okezie Ikpeazu has a lot of integrity question in Imo State. There are a lot of accusations that were going against him, a lot of matters. I wouldn't know if EFCC is investigating him, but his emergence on the list was a rude shock to Ndiabia, though there are also Neya there. That is it. Then
let's look at...
don't worry, I'm coming. I have the list.
Okay.
I have the list of... and you look at Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi. Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi was in the National Assembly since 2003 till he became the governor in 2015. And he served as governor for 8 years. And is now going on ambassadorial nomination, which everybody would have thought that the President Tinubu would have injected fresh blood into the government system. But here and there, it has been like that. But it is the prerogative and constitutional duty of the President to nominate his choice to the National Assembly, and for the National Assembly to screen them. Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi had the character, has the potential and the quality to be an ambassador, but he has been in government for a very long time. He would have been allowed to rest a bit because I don't know. If you look at the 2023 presidential election, he lost his senatorial election. That means his people rejected him. The same thing is applicable to Okezie Ikpeazu. So that government will not be rewarding evil. It's just like when Daniel Boala, who was in Atiku's campaign spokesperson, when he was appointed spokesperson of so the people asked a lot of questions. But this is politics. Government, any president or governor can bring in people he feel he will work with, even if he's not the best. and they still determined to go with that, it is up to them to do so. But rain or mockery, I don't think that Nigerian Senate, in their sound mind, will scare him through.
But, sir, do you think this list is actually coming from Asiwaju? Given what you're saying, the likes of rain or mockery, appointing people you don't expect the Senate to clear. However,
the letter to him, to the National Assembly, said that the president wrote to the National Assembly.
yes.
And it will be responsible of me to refute Mr. President and the National Assembly.
All right.
Yes.
But there is a silent question that you've not spoken to.
Okay.
We've seen first ladies making the list,
Yes.
and he didn't say anything about that. He
It
don't
is
find
the, I
anything
said that
wrong.
it is the prerogative of the president to nominate those his choice. And at the same time, I said that one would have thought that president would have, coming from here and there, what in Igbo adage that we say, Enyendeba, Enyendeba. If somebody is the first lady, I think the person would have continued to do the business of the state or the local government, and also allow fresh blood also to come in so that recycling will be minimized. I said that earlier on, and I'm repeating it. Any other person that is nominating should look at enhancing our democracy, bringing in on board fresh blood, those who has committed themselves to the party, because we'll not continue this way.
All right. At the risk of losing your friendship, but I would still ask, sir, it seems your party, the APC, is lowering the bar on Nigerians, going by this list.
APC did not submit list to the National Assembly.
Is an APC party.
Yes, it's an APC party.
Is your president.
He's doing politics. The president is the president of Nigeria, and not president of APC. He's the president of all Nigeria. That was why he brought people from PDP, from various political formations. So far, they have the integrity. So when he won elections, he has discharged himself of political partisan coloration. He is now the president and commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So he's not the president of APC.
All right. Granted, sir. But I'm still running that risk because I do not want to lose your friendship. But I will have to ask because our viewers are watching and they want to hear. Don't you think that your party, your president, is scared of 2027 election as to why we have the PDP members that are working with your government and this list, which is said to be political compensation and preparation for 2027?
He is not, the president and the party is not afraid. But the president and the party is preparing for 2027 election. Anything that the government is doing now is to prepare very well. Because the APC is the party that plans very well. Because it is a common knowledge that if you fail to plan, you have carefully planned to fail. So PDP did not plan well when they distorted their zoning formula. And APC is already taking advantage of that. And we are planning to win again.
All right. Though the directors have started counting down for us, but I would not leave you without getting your opinion again on state police and insecurity.
State police is the best thing that can happen to this country because it is difficult from anybody from Zamfara to come and police Umunochi. Rather than a person from Umunochi policing Umunochi, a person from Omabi policing Omabi, a person from Udenu or Bodaba policing Obodaba. Let every policing be state policing. It will be under the control of the governor. The governor doesn't give orders to the commissioner of police. If the governor gives orders to the commissioner of police, they're coming from Abuja. Look at what happened to the school children in Kebbi State, where the military that were there were withdrawn before the kidnap. So the state policing is the best thing. And I encourage the Nigerian Senate, the entire National Assembly, to vote in favor of the establishment of state policing system.
All right. And finally, what do you say about the governance of Dr. Peter Mbah?
Peter Mbah is the best thing that has happened to Enugu State. This morning I said that the achievement of Peter Mbah in these past 2 years has surpassed the achievement of a former governor that has been in Enugu State. Enugu State is a state to be proud of, Go around the city now, you'll be happy to say that you are coming from Enugu. So I command His Excellency Peter Ndubitimba. And I call on the entire people of Enugu State to go and get their PVC, permanent voter card, in order to vote massively for the person of Governor Peter Ndubitimba.
That is campaigning. Anyways, and that is it for today on The Insight. And Honorable Ebubago Okafor, a public affairs analyst, thank you for your in-depth analysis today on The Insight. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. And to you, our viewers, still will come your way same time tomorrow. I remain your host, Uche Osai. Bye-bye.
Hooray! It's Christmas. The King is born. Hey children, it's time to laugh, to dance and have some fun. Put on your dancing shoes and bring your friends along. Come on, it's the Aneke TV Children's Christmas Party 2025. Let's go! We got dancing, spelling bees, sack race, jumping 1, 2, 3, lots of games and surprises too. All we are waiting for is you. And venue is Aneke TV, number 30, Edinburgh Street, Ogwini Layout, Enugu. Date, Sunday, 14 December 2025. Time is 12 o'clock. Come take your seat. Don't be late. We can't wait to celebrate. Sponsored by Indomie. Yummy treats. Colgate, our smile so sweet. Kellogg's, bring the crunchy cheers. Malta Guinness, energy all year, powered by Nigerian Breweries, and this is the best party guaranteed. Come one, come all. It's Christmas cheers. Be there, be happy. The fun, it's here.
The federal government has launched a major drive to recruit thousands of new police officers and security personnel across Nigeria. We are here on the street to ask Nigerians if they would consider applying.
It's personally, I won't advise somebody to apply or not to apply. The truth is this: if government involved in this recruitment can be sincere to themselves, we can go in. But sometimes people will tell you that let's go to hunt. At the end of the day, they call you, see your leg is not of this thing. So that's the problem. If they are sincere to themselves, people will come and help. But at the end of the day, you see when they recruit you, they got their back and fire. So that's the way I see it. Well, I'm old enough to involve myself in such a thing now. But the young ones, I want to involve themselves. Let them do that. But let the government be sincere to themselves. Give them backup. No backup. Not when you give somebody sword to go and say you draw rent to beat that person. It's not good.
Police. For what? I like my life. Me where they could cost police people now. Maybe they can't they cost me too. No is the answer, please. I don't find it honorable enough to serve this country in that capacity. Policemen, they are not as valued as they are in other countries. So why lay down your life for a country that does not care about you as a citizen first? Obuluze police. It doesn't make sense to me. There are countries where if you open up mass recruitment, they will flock to join, but ask some other person, 1 out of 100 people will not even join. And even if they do join, they are joining because of lack of jobs, just something to be doing for the meantime before they get something better, because police in Nigeria is not a noble profession.
Some people may say, I love to be a soldier. But for me, even if a soldier to marry a soldier, I don't like it. Police and all of them is what? The same thing. And they're not uniform people. I don't like anything uniform. I don't know why.
Yes, I will. To protect my country and also to serve as a youth.
With the new mass recruitment, I would consider applying, but if the condition for applying is that I'll be sent to fight the war. I don't think I would. Not in the sense that I wouldn't, with the right training, I wouldn't be able to do the job. But I'm an only child. So I consider the fate of others, my mother especially, before any decision I make. If in the future, when peace has been achieved, if there comes an opportunity that comes up for me to be in any law enforcement agency, then fine and good, we'll do it. But for now, the instability would not help me, would not allow me to do that.
As Nigeria steps up efforts to tackle insecurity, the public's interest in joining the police and security forces seems mixed. I am Chinaza Ifeanyi, reporting for Aneke TV.
Good afternoon and welcome to news across the country on Aneke TV. I'm Deborah Wakaba. And now to the headlines. U.S. Congress to hold briefing on rising attacks in parts of Nigeria. Nigerian Army seizes 276 kilograms of cannabis bound for Borno State. Kano State government orders strict enforcement against commercial motorcycles. Nigerian resident doctors give federal government 4-week ultimatum. Abia State government confirms payment of 450 million naira compensation over hotel revocation. And now to the details of the news. The United States House Appropriations Committee is holding a joint congressional briefing today to address escalating violence and targeted attacks on some Nigerians. Vice Chair Mario Diaz-Balart is leading the session with members of Appropriations, Foreign Affairs and Financial Services Committees, alongside experts from the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom. The briefing aims to document the violence and gather evidence for a report directed by former President Trump outlining recommendations for Congress to support global protection of vulnerable faith communities. Testimonies from human rights and security experts are expected to feature prominently. This development comes amid growing U.S.-Nigerian security cooperation. President Bola Tinubu recently approved Nigeria's team for the U.S.-Nigeria Joint Working Group focused on counter-terrorism intelligence sharing and border security. The debriefing highlights international concern over terrorism, banditry, and attacks on religious minorities in Nigeria. Nigeria's Defense Minister Alhaji Mohammed Badara Abubakar has resigned with immediate effect. His resignation, submitted to President Bola Tinubu on December 1st, was accepted, with the president thanking him for his service to national security. Badara, 63, is a former two-term governor of Jigawa State. The resignation comes amid a declared national security emergency by President Tinubu to strengthen the country's defense architecture. Government officials confirm arrangements are in place to ensure smooth continuity at the Ministry of Defense. The president is expected to forward a new minister's name to the Senate later this week to avoid leadership vacuum. Security analysts say continuity at the ministry is crucial for ongoing counterterrorism and national defense operations. National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu has assured families of over 300 students and staff abducted from St. Mary's Square Education School in Niger State that they will be reunited soon. The assurance followed a federal government visit to the Kotagora community involving the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and the DSS Director General. Ribadu stated that the abducted children are safe and will return home, though he did not provide specifics on their location or the rescue operation. Church leaders described the visit as reassuring amid growing anxiety in the community. Security experts know that kidnapping in Nigeria has evolved into an organized criminal enterprise. Some victims from the same school have already escaped, while 25 students abducted in Kebbi State were freed recently through non-kinetic interventions. Enugu State Governor Dr. Peter Mba has inaugurated new security equipment funded through the Enugu State Security Trust Fund. The badge includes 2 advanced drones, 10 Hilux patrol trucks, 40 motorcycles, and 400 bulletproof vests and helmets. Governor Mba said the deployment reinforces gains from previous investment in surveillance infrastructure, including AI-enabled cameras and the command and control center. He noted violent crimes in the state have dropped by over 80%. Trustees of the Security Fund said the equipment will further curb criminal activities and support growing business traffic. The governor pledged continued collaboration with the federal government to ensure the safety of lives and property in Enugu. A non-governmental organization, Body Without Sport, has urged Nigerian men to undergo regular prostate cancer screening to enable early detection and reduce mortality. The appeal was made during a prostate health awareness event in Enugu. Founder Emeritus Professor Ifeoma Okoye noted that many men avoid screening and only seek medical attention when the disease is advanced. Experts highlighted that early-stage prostate cancer often shows no symptoms, making PSA testing crucial. Government officials and health advocates pledged support for awareness campaigns and called for reduced screening costs to ensure broader access. They encouraged men aged 40 and above to adopt routine health checks. The federal government has commenced free annual liver and kidney function tests for people living with HIV/AIDS under expanded health insurance coverage. Minister of State for Health, Dr. Isiaq Salako, announced the initiative during the World AIDS Day in Abuja. The program integrates HIV, TB, malaria, and nutrition services to improve outcomes, especially for children and adolescents. The consent age for voluntary HIV testing has been lowered from 18 to 14 years to encourage early diagnosis and treatment. Dr. Timitope Ilori, Director General of NACA, confirmed Nigeria is on track to meet the 2030 target of ending HIV as a public health threat. The National Clinical Mentorship Program is also being institutionalized to prevent loss to follow-up among PLHIV. The Association of Community Pharmacists of Nigeria has called on the federal government to invest in local drug production to combat HIV and AIDS. The appeal was made in a statement marking World HIV Day. ACPN National Chairman Ambrose Eze noted Nigeria recorded an estimated 1,400 new HIV infections in 2023. He warned that recent cuts in funding from the U.S. should prompt the government to take decisive action locally. Eze stressed that reduced external support makes national commitments essential. Strengthening local production will help reduce dependency on international donors and ensure sustained HIV prevention and treatment programs. The Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation has requested clarification from the Ministry of Health on the planned December 31st enforcement of the ban of sachet alcohol drinks and small volume spirits by NAFDAC. The intervention follows pressure from the National Assembly, with the House accusing NAFDAC of ignoring parliamentary resolutions that advise suspension of the ban. The law aimed to curb alcohol-related harm and youth addiction from cheap liquor. Senate support for the enforcement date contrasts with manufacturers lobbying for an extension. SGF Senator George Akume seeks an informed position from the ministry before the government proceeds or halts the ban. The Enugu State government has postponed its stakeholders' town hall meeting on the Digital Land Transformation Program initially scheduled for today. The announcement was made by Commissioner for Information Dr. Malaki Agbo. The government cited logistical arrangements as the reason and promised a new date would be communicated to invited guests and partners. Authorities expressed regret for any inconvenience caused. Officials reiterated that the town hall remains central to efforts to promote transparency and public understanding of digitization reforms The program aims to modernize land administration and improve service delivery in the state. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi has urged member states of the International Criminal Court to uphold cooperation while respecting Nigeria's sovereignty. He spoke at the opening of the 24th Assembly of State Parties in The Hague. Fagbemi reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to the Rome Statute and stressed the ICC should only intervene when national courts are unwilling or unable to prosecute. He highlighted Nigeria's Operation Safe Corridor, which was reintegrated over 6,000 former combatants. The AGF also raised concerns over violation of international humanitarian law and emerging threats from autonomous weapons systems. He urged consideration of Africa's challenges with terrorism and mass displacement in future ICC deliberations. Troops of the 12th Brigade Nigerian Army intercepted a vehicle transporting a large consignment of cannabis in Kogi State. The operation took place in Kababunu local government area, where the driver Hamisu Sule attempted to flee but was arrested. The army recovered 306 parcels of cannabis weighing 276 kilograms transported from Ekiti State to Bono Port. The driver and the seized drugs were handed over to NDLEA Kogi Command for legal action. This is the second major cannabis seizure by the 12th Brigade in a week. Authorities say the operations target drug trafficking networks linked to banditry and other criminal activities in the state. The Kano State government has reaffirmed the ban on commercial motorcycles in several metropolitan local government areas to curb rising crime. The Ministry of Justice reminded residents that the Motorcycling and Related Matters Law 2013 remains fully active. The ban applies to Kano Municipal, Gwale, Dala, Nasarawa, Taruni, Fage, and Kumboso local government areas. Violators face fines up to 10,000 naira, imprisonment up to 6 months, and forfeiture of motorcycles to the state. Even in local government areas where commercial motorcycling is permitted, riders must register with local authorities for security monitoring. Security agencies have been directed to enforce the law strictly to ensure public safety and crime prevention. You're watching Aneke TV news across the country. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now, a quick reminder of major developments in the news. U.S. Congress to hold briefing on rising attacks against Christians in Nigeria. Nigerian Army seizes 276 kilograms of cannabis bound for Borno State. Kano State government orders strict enforcement against commercial motorcycles. And coming up shortly, Nigerian resident doctors give federal government 4-week ultimatum. Abia State government confirms payment of 450 million naira compensation over hotel revocation. We'll be right back.
Hooray! It's Christmas. The King is born. Hey children, it's time to laugh, to dance and have some fun. Put on your dancing shoes and bring your friends along. Come on, it's the Aneke TV Children's Christmas Party 2025. Let's go! We got dancing, spelling bees, sack race, jumping 1, 2, 3, lots of games and surprises too. All we are waiting for is you. And venue is Aneke TV, number 30, Edinburgh Street, Ogwini Layout, Enugu. Date, Sunday, 14 December 2025. Time is 12 o'clock. Come take your seat. Don't be late. We can't wait to celebrate. Sponsored by Indomie. Yummy treats. Colgate, our smile so sweet. Kellogg's, bring the crunchy cheers. Malta Guinness, energy all year. Powered by Nigerian Breweries. And this is the best party guaranteed. Come one, come all. It's Christmas cheers. Be there. Be happy. The fun, it's here.
Still on the news. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors (NAD) has warned the federal government that it will resume a total indefinite strike if its demands are not fully implemented within 4 weeks. The warning follows an extraordinary National Executive Council meeting and comes less than a month after suspending an earlier strike. NARD is pressing for full payment of 7-month arrears on the 25th to 35% consolidated medical salary structure. 2024 accoutrement allowance, promotion arrears, and outstanding salaries in federal hospitals. The association also demands reconciliation of failed CONMES payments and reinstatement of 5 disengaged doctors at Federal Teaching Hospital, Lokoja, within 2 weeks. The NEC emphasized that the ongoing strike suspension is strictly a 4-week monitoring period. Hospitals with unresolved local disputes are advised to continue industrial action until demands are met. NAD has also called for immediate implementation of a 1-to-1 replacement policy and development of a formal duty hours policy to address workload and burnout. The Anglican Bishop of Obaru Diocese, Anambra State, Right Reverend Prosper Ama, has called on the Chief of Naval Staff to investigate the alleged assault of Reverend Tochukwu Agina by a naval officer. The incident reportedly occurred on Sunday, November 30th at a naval checkpoint in Okmotono, Anambra State. Eyewitnesses and priests confirmed that he was not using a phone, contrary to the officer's claim. Bishop Ama condemned the act as an abuse of authority and a violation of human rights, professional ethics, and military code. The diocese is demanding a transparent investigation, identification, and disciplinary action against the officer. Official communication to affected parties, preventive training, and adequate compensation for Reverend Agina. The Nigerian Navy has yet to respond to the allegations. Enugu State Police Command has arrested 26-year-old Chibike Joshua Oguja for allegedly faking his own kidnapping to extort 35 million from his family. Oguja's security guard reportedly sent a Facebook message claiming he was abducted on November 24th. Police launched a search operation that ended when Oguja's father brought him to the station. During interrogation, the suspect admitted staging the incident from a friend's house and cited frustration over his uncle's failure to buy him a tricycle. The Commissioner of Police, CP Beatrice Giwa, condemned the act as regrettable height of criminality and confirmed that Oguja will face prosecution once investigations are concluded. Anambra State Police Command has arrested Emmanuel Osigwe, a suspected member of a proscribed secessionist group, during an intelligence-led operation in Ozubulu, Ekusigo local government area. The arrest occurred on the evening of November 30th following suspicious behavior observed by police and vigilante operatives. A search of Osigwe revealed handcuffs and visible injuries. He allegedly admitted membership in the group and claimed he recently escaped a camp in Newi South after a dispute with other members. The arrest is part of a heightened security surveillance and targeted patrols ordered by the Commissioner of Police, CP Ikyoye Orutugu. The suspect remains in custody, assisting ongoing investigations. The Abia State government has dismissed claims regarding the alleged revocation of Abia Hotels Limited, Umahia, urging the public to ignore misleading narratives. The Commissioner for Information, Oke Kanu, and Special Advisor Ferdinand Ekoma stated that the co-investor Randy Ukanwoko has been fully compensated. The Umahia Capital Development Authority confirmed that 450 million naira was paid to Ukanwoko in October, after which the premises were sealed. Officials accused the investor of deceiving others by claiming no payment was received. The government also refuted claims that the action was linked to a political rally, noting that the investor had breached the initial agreement. Compensation was provided out of empathy to allow the state to move forward lawfully. Meanwhile, the Chief Press Secretary to Imo Governor Alex Oti Ukohanjoku has clarified that the governor's convoy was not attacked en route to Sam Mbakwe Airport, Owerri. Some reports suggesting the governor was targeted were inaccurate. Njoku said an advanced team of 3 officials traveling from Government House to the airport was attacked by unidentified gunmen between Umuowa and Ihite Junction. No casualties were reported. He emphasized that the governor was not involved in the incident and reassured the public of the safety of the governor and his convoy. And now to business news. The Southwest Development Commission is pushing for the revival and concessioning of unserviced rail lane lines to boost regional economic activities. SWDC Managing Director Dr. Charles Akinola highlighted plans to reduce transportation costs, create jobs and enhance food security. The Commission seeks immediate operation of old routes including Idogo and Dabolu, Oshogbo, Erumu, Omi, Adio, while pursuing medium-term private sector partnerships for other lines. NRC Managing Director Dr. Kaido Ikpefa has expressed readiness to review operational applications. SWDC is also coordinating with Southwest governors to link rail stations to industrial hubs and dry ports to maximize economic impact and regional connectivity. Now moving over to sports. The National Sports Commission has announced plans to inaugurate Nigeria's first official flag football federation. The process includes election for executive members immediately after inauguration. The NSC confirmed that no local or international body has been officially recognized to represent Nigeria in the sport. The Commission emphasized its authority to regulate sports federations and finalize a unified national body. All stakeholders are being engaged to ensure transparency and inclusiveness, with details of election timetables and membership requirements to be released shortly. Still on sports, Nigeria's under-15 boys football team will face Benin today in Odago during the CAF Schools Football Championship qualifiers. A victory is needed after a 4-1 opening defeat to Ivory Coast. Coach Oluwaseyi Oyeni's squad, drawn from 5 secondary schools, is competing in a 3-team Group B. The top 2 teams advanced to the semi-finals. The semi-finals are scheduled for Wednesday with the final on Thursday. Nigeria must win to keep its hope alive in the competition. Afrobeat star Tuwaba and his wife Natasha Osawaru were involved in a heated off-camera exchange during a live Instagram session hosted by Daddy Freeze. The livestream featured former management associate alleging control and violent assaults by Natasha. Tuwaba interrupted the session, ordering the discussion to stop. Raised voices were heard before the livestream ended abruptly. The incident intensified public scrutiny on the couple who married in July 2025 following previous claims of a UK altercation that were dismissed. Still on entertainment, Shola Ogudugu, mother of Wizkid's first son, Bola Watife, shared gratitude on Instagram for her son's achievements. She highlighted his recent musical success and the support received from fans. Bolu Watife's EP, Champion Arrival, debuted at #1 on Apple Music Nigeria and charted in 16 countries, making him the youngest African artist to achieve the milestone. Wizkid publicly expressed pride in his son, while Shola continues to actively support his growth and development, celebrating milestones and guiding him through his music career. And now to end the news across the country, here are the main points again. U.S. House Appropriations Committee has held joint briefing on rising attacks against Christians in Nigeria. Resident doctors have given the federal government 4 weeks ultimatum to meet outstanding demands. Nigeria has granted asylum and diplomatic protection to Guinea-Bissau opposition candidate Fernando Diaz da Costa. And that's news across the country at noon. For breaking news and eyewitness reports, call 070-3043-7110 or follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. On behalf of the producer Chidima Sogwa and the entire news team, I'm Deborah Wakoba. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Hooray! It's Christmas. The King is born. Hey children, it's time to laugh, to dance and have some fun. Put on your dancing shoes and bring your friends along. Come on, it's the Aneke TV Children's Christmas Party 2025. Let's go! We got dancing, spelling bees, sack race, jumping 1, 2, 3, lots of games and surprises too. All we are waiting for is you. And venue is Aneke TV, number 30, Edinburgh Street, Ogwini Layout, Enugu. Date, Sunday, 14 December 2025. Time is 12 o'clock. Come take your seat. Don't be late. We can't wait to celebrate. Sponsored by Indomie. Yummy treats. Colgate, our smile so sweet. Kellogg's, bring the crunchy cheers. Malta Guinness, energy all year, powered by Nigerian Breweries, and this is the best party guaranteed. Come one, come all. It's Christmas cheers. Be there, be happy. The fun, it's here.
The federal government has launched a major drive to recruit thousands of new police officers and security personnel across Nigeria. We are here on the street to ask Nigerians if they would consider applying.
It's personally, I won't advise somebody to apply or not to apply. The truth is this: if government involved in this recruitment can be sincere to themselves, we can go in. But sometimes people will tell you that let's go to hunt. At the end of the day, they call you, see your leg is out of this thing. So that's the problem. If they are sincere to themselves, people will come and help. But at the end of the day, you see when they recruit you, they got their back and fire. So that's the way I see it. Well, I'm old enough to involve myself in such a thing now. But the young ones, I want to involve themselves. Let them do that. But let the government be sincere to themselves. Give them backup. No backup. Not when you give somebody sword to go and say you draw rent to beat that person. It's not good.
Police. For what? I like my life. Me where they could cost police people now. Maybe they can't cost me too. No is the answer, please. I don't find it honorable enough to serve this country in that capacity. Policemen, they are not as valued as they are in other countries. So why lay down your life for a country that does not care about you as a citizen first? Obuluze police. It doesn't make sense to me. There are places where, there are countries where if you open up mass recruitment, they will flock to join, but ask some other person. 1 out of 100 people will not even join. And even if they do join, they are joining because of lack of jobs, just something to be doing for the meantime before they get something better, because police in Nigeria is not a noble profession.
Some people may say, I love to be a soldier. But for me, even if a soldier to marry a soldier, I don't like it. Police and all of them is what? The same thing. And they're not uniform people. That is, I don't like anything uniform. I don't know why.
Yes, I will. To protect my country and also to serve as a youth.
With the new mass recruitment, I would consider applying, but if the condition for applying is that I'll be sent to fight the war, I don't think I would. Not in the sense that I wouldn't, with the right training, I wouldn't be able to do the job, but I'm an only child. So I consider the fate of others, my mother especially, before any decision I make. If in the future, when peace has been achieved, if there comes an opportunity that comes up for me to be in any law enforcement agency, then fine and good, we'll do it. But for now, the instability would not help me, would not allow me to do that.
As Nigerians steps up efforts to tackle insecurity, the public's interest in joining the police and security forces seems mixed. I am Chinaza Ifeanyi, reporting for Aneke TV.
Aneke television. How agiribom dị egwu nkwa azụghị n'ahịa mgbochi okwukwu kakwa ogwugwu mma. How mba ụwa bịa na ihe ebube eme. mgbagbu ọgba gbatawa na ihe ebube emewa Aneke telivishọn na-emere ogbenye mere amadi ihe ị na-agba nkwụ ị na-eme nkepụta nwa ị na-akwa ozu ị na-agba akwụkwọ bịawa na Aneke telivishọn bịa ka ezuoru ha ozi ọma bịawa na Aneke telivishọn idume he na-emere ogbenye mere amadi ihe ụmụ Igbo bịawo na nke a bụ nke anyị ịmara ebe oge ọrụ etiho mọnwụ ntakịtụkwa mọnwụ si nne ya mere ha ji wee weta Aneke telivishọn ọ bụ onye mgbagburu ahụ nna ọ dị na soshal midia ọ dị na mgbagbu ọ dị n'Enugu site ọ dị na
God. God is not far. He is in the stillness after the chaos, in the laughter of children, in the stranger who smiled at you for no reason. He is not confined to buildings or books. He walks with us in dust and rain, in heartbreak and healing. He is the answer before we even speak. To seek God is to seek love, and to find God, truly find Him, is to love deeper, live fuller, and give without counting.
Imo State unfolds like a living poem, a tapestry of memory, aspiration, and transformation. Here, history is not settled in the past, but continues to move forward, carried in the footsteps of Imolites, whose resolve and optimism animate every corner of the land. The people and their spirit Imolites are renewed for their courage, enterprise, and intellect. From the bustling avenues of Owerri to the rolling hills of Idato, both the young and the old carry a quiet, steadfast conviction. Education is not just a means to an end, but a calling. Their ambition lives in the classrooms, in labs, in markets, and in the global Imo diaspora. Imo's cultural heartbeat is rhythmic and rich. High life melodies mingle with gospel harmonies and modern beats, each song echoing ancestral memory and youthful vigor. Traditional dances carry stories of community, origin, and resilience, even as innovation blossoms, rooted in respect for heritage. Infrastructure and roads. Under Governor Hope Uzodimma, Imo has undergone what many describe as a road revolution. The administration claims to have delivered over 120 quality roads within 5 years. Notable among them are the dualized Owerri-Olo and Owerri-Okigwe roads. The Mbidi-Oguta Road and 18-kilometer dual carriageway was commissioned in early 2025, aiming to boost economic activities in Uru West and Oguta LGAs, especially by connecting to the Orashi Energy Free Trade Zone. Other signature infrastructure includes the Azamta flyover to decongest traffic and the Emmanuel Iwanyam International Conference Center, which has been built to world-class standards. Governor Uzodimma has also stated that these infrastructure investments are not just for mobility, but are economic corridors intended to stimulate trade, reduce travel time, and integrate Imo's communities more closely. Under human capital development, health and education, and on health, the Governor Uzodimma administration reports a comprehensive revamp. Renovation of 305 health centers, purportedly one in each electoral ward. Establishment of 55 new primary health centers, announced in 2025 to expand access, particularly in rural areas. Construction of 3 new general hospitals at Ohaji, Oguta, and Omuma. Revitalization of the Imo State University Teaching Hospital and the Specialist Hospital, plus re-accreditation of nursing and midwifery schools. creation of a state health insurance scheme known as Imo Health Insurance, which has reportedly covered more than 66,000 residents. Deployment of mobile clinics to reach rural and underdeserved communities. In education, Governor Uzodimma has significantly expanded tertiary education. What was once one functioning public university has grown to 3, along with a polytechnic and a college of education. He has also prioritized youth empowerment and governance. There are strong signals of financial reforms. According to some reports, Uzodimma has focused heavily on capital spending, budgeting major parts of the state resources towards infrastructure and development. Then, Imo under Emeka Ihedioha, renewal and vision. While much of the recent narrative focuses on Governor Uzodimma, it is important to acknowledge the contributions of his predecessor, Chief Emeka Ihedioha. Through his rebelled Imo agenda, Chief Ihedioha prioritized environmental renewal. There were efforts to restore drainage, improve waste management, plant community trees, and reintroduce refuse compactor vehicles. He also restructured state finances, including implementing a treasury single account for greater financial discipline and automating revenue collection to improve the state's internally generated revenue. In agriculture, Chief Ihedioha launched an initiative called Rice Revolution to boost rice production, turn rural youths into farmers, and partner with the private sector for food security. For youth and sports, Chief Ihedioha's government reportedly worked on sports infrastructure across the 27 local government areas, envisioning healthy, active youth participation in sports. What truly defines Imo is its resilience. Where decay once prevailed, renewal now pauses. Where neglect reigned, leadership dares to imagine. The story of Imo is not only about roads and hospitals, it is about a people who refuse to accept stagnation, who carry their heritage with dignity, and who dare to dream of a better tomorrow. As night falls over palm-lined hills and Owerri streets, hum with life, Imo is not just a place, it is a promise built in classrooms, clinics, markets, and fields. In its people lies its greatest wealth, and in its bold, forward-looking dreams, its greatest power.
Sex is sacred, not shameful. In its truest form, it is more than the body. It is soul speaking to soul, fire woven with trust, vulnerability clothed in consent. But when misused, it breaks more than bodies, it fractures spirits. That is why it must be approached with reverence, not recklessness. Let us teach to love before lust, connection before conquest. For when sex is honored, it becomes not just pleasure, but poetry.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, 042, and a very, very, very good morning to everyone watching. You're tuned into Sunrise on Aneke TV, where every sunrise begins with delightfulness, bringing you your daily dose of cheer and joy. I am Deborah Wakuba, coming to you live from our studio here in Vibrant Enugu.
And good morning to you, our global audience. I'm Uche Osai. Wherever you are, at home, in your office, or in traffic, or even making breakfast at home, thank you for letting us into your space. This beautiful morning, we're here to refresh, inform, and motivate.
Yes, it's Tuesday, 2nd of December 2025, and of course, it's another bright and new edition of Sunrise here today on Aneke TV. And of course, we've got a power-packed morning for you today with our latest news, trending stories, our business stock update, and lots more so to keep you well driven.
So, grab that cup of coffee or tea, relax, enjoy the ride, because the sunrise is here.
Yes, and coming up shortly, we'll be kicking things off with our quote of the day, with words that are thoughtful, words that are inspiring, and words that could offer insight to whatever we do to help us stay focused or feel motivated.
Then, it's straight into the desktop headlines. All the key news update that you need to remain informed will be served hot and crispy.
Yes, and right after that, we'll be giving you a weather report covering cities across the southeast and beyond, so you know what to expect before you step out. Or if you've stepped out already, is to keep you throughout the rest of the day.
And let us wrap things up with some fun global holidays on celebrations to lift your spirits and keep you smiling.
All right, now let's move over to our morning show inspiration segment. Now this morning, we would ease into the day with a reminder that hits right at the heart of purpose, coming from Oprah Winfrey. And she said in a quote, "Don't worry about being successful, but work toward being significant, and the success will naturally follow." I'm going to take that quote again, coming from Oprah Winfrey. She said, "Don't worry about being successful, but work towards being significant, and the success will naturally follow." Now, this quote, it means or is telling us that we should live in a way that impacts people, that adds value, that uplifts your community and expresses your true gifts. So instead of chasing title, instead of chasing the fame, let us try to build a lifestyle that will meet or that will create impact in any other person's life, not just only your own. Because when you're, like a quote that we once said here, that true success is actually when it shows towards another person, not just only you. Now, when it's being shown to another person, when it benefits other person's lives, that's what true success actually means. Mr. Ocha, I'd like to know your thoughts on this quote.
All right. Speaking to Prawifre, a successful person telling us how to be successful.
Yeah.
You know, if left for me, anybody that has this goal should take it very serious, because it takes the successful to know the path they've treaded, how they become successful, and they can be an expert, guide for one to be successful in life. And here, Oprah is telling us that we should not put, being successful at the forefront. Why we know, yes, we want to be successful at what we're doing, but he is telling us here that what we should work on is towards being significant where we are. Then, from being significant, you walk up the ladder. For him, in this quote, is a step-by-step approach. You don't just want to rush the process, but one step at a time. Keep working to being significant at what you do.
Yeah.
It could be, I like speaking to my brothers who are in the market, when you've been settled, you've done the Igbo apprenticeship system. You've served your master and you've been settled. Once you're settled, you don't want to be your boss, get to the level of your boss overnight. There are steps that you need to take. One of such steps is, be there every day. And why there? Open up early. Why you're opening up early, begin to interact, have good customer relationship. Begin to, while you've stocked your shop, your approach to your customers, your after-sales service, is a process, gradual by gradual. Then you see yourself as you are being significant daily. You become, you now become, because it's a state of being. When you've been taking it one step at a time, you now see yourself that gradually you're becoming successful.
Yeah.
And before you would say Jack Robinson, you see yourself growing to the status of your master. But when you start off immediately you're settled and you want to get to the status of your master, you see, you fall into that situation
Yes.
where you see our boys now on the street, they get rich quick syndrome that we have.
Yes.
People are going into what they call the Yahoo Plus, you know.
To make
Everybody
fast
wants
money.
fast money, you know, because we begin to equate money to success. We begin to equate wealth to success without analyzing what success is all about. And here is Oprah Winfrey telling us this morning. He said we shouldn't worry about being successful, but work towards being significant,
Yeah.
and the success will naturally follow. And this is the step that we'll miss, you know. Just like when you've gone to school, you've gotten admission in the university, and by year one, you're beginning to want to write your project. You will fail.
Yes.
You have to do coursework, graduate from first year in the university, do your year one coursework, write your semester exam after you've done your assignment and attended lectures as well. You see yourself after the first semester, the second semester, you move to the next class. From the next class, you get to the final year where you do your project. And cumulatively, you see that it's not just the final year that would, you know, give the results of what you come out with. Whether you graduate summa cum laude, it depends on your work ethic from your year one. That's if you're going to graduate with first class. You know, that is determined from the day you step into that very university. The day you enter the four walls of the university is determined by your approach from year one. Then beyond that, you see that there's a cumulative summary of your performance across the years, determining if you will come out as university university attendant.
Okay, yes, thank you for coming. That's what they call it.
You know, university
Yes.
can give university thank you for coming.
Yes.
So, but if you've done well cumulatively, you come out with first class. You come out with second class upper or second class lower or even top class. You know, I remember years back in the university when we walk through a particular spot, speaking to the University of Nigerians, then we walk out through, pass through a building, you know, very gigantic, you know, well-beautified edifice. And people will always say, this university, they know they respect person. No? Imagine the person that built this edifice and handed it over to university, that they gave him pass. I don't want to mention them now, you know. So, but they gave this individual a pass, and people would love say, "What's a university?" But at the end of the day, is about your cumulative performance over the year, and that's what Oprah Winfrey is telling us, that we should not work on, you know, that we should gradually work on being. You know, because if you being significant is working on being, and by the time you work on being, you see yourself stepping up to daily, you're working on being successful. And at the tail end of it, you become successful even without struggling for it, because you've, you know, cumulatively worked towards it. And then moving away, I've cited the marketplace, you know, where you see why the Igbo other tribes in Nigeria and beyond Nigeria, people are envious of the Igbos, because this quote is as if Oprah Winfrey had the Igbos in mind when he was giving this these words in marble. Yes, because you see that apprenticeship system, the apprenticeship system, you don't have the prototype anywhere in the world. Is developed solely by the Igbos, carried out web. Very practical, you know, that you don't see it replicated anywhere across the globe, such that the Harvard University have come out to, you know, begin to write on it. People have taken time to study the system, and this is a system that has been there over centuries and has not failed. And what does this system do? Just like in this quote, it begins to replicate. You see the master replicating himself in other people. You see some of these boys who have passed through apprenticeship system, for example, even becoming weightier than their boss that trained them. Telling you about the success of this system, about what Oprah Winfrey is telling us this morning. You working towards being significant, and definitely you get to be successful. And that's very apt of Oprah. And I did start by telling you that, yes, a successful person can guide you to being successful, which is why I linked it to the Igbos, and then we are seeing it here. Because she is successful, and she can tell you that, yes, this is the pathway to being successful. And I encourage especially the younger ones, youth out there, to listen to this quote this morning. Work with it. Do not, you know, start out by wanting to amass wealth without labor, wealth without work. You know, you want to flaunt wealth all of a sudden. Overnight, you wake up, you just want to, you know, drive the best of cars, live in the best of houses, wear the best of clothes and all that, without nothing to account for it. You first have to, you know, put your hand in the till, and after you've labored, then comes a time for reward. And you see, that gives you a sustainable wealth, which is what Oprah is talking about. That wealth that is accumulated all of a sudden, wealth without enterprise, you see it evaporate over time.
Yeah, you don't have good use of it. There's
You don't have
nothing
nothing.
tangible to use and hold it.
Hold
That's
it.
true.
There's nothing to back it up because it's just, should I use the word mirage?
Let's say, as it comes, anyhow, it goes
As it
anyhow.
comes, it goes. Because, yes, there's no sure foundation for it. There's no footing.
Yeah,
so it's just like air.
There's something my dad was, sorry, there's something my dad would say, like, when you get something that is not, you do not work hard for it, you won't value it.
Yes.
So you misuse it. That's the same way when you get rich quick syndrome, you get that wealth, you get that thing at that particular moment, you just spend it anyhow because you don't have value for it.
No wonder, for those of us that go out in the night, for example, that's why you see these boys, they pour champagne,
yes.
Talk about the drinks, Mattel.
If you're earning a month's salary, you won't even dare it.
They'll spend your salary in 1 minute,
Okay.
And yeah, I've seen these boys wash with champagne, and they brandish these phones and they pour champagne on it to tell that it's the original, the authentic. And you see for somebody, Rolex, and they are pouring, wine on it and all that. And that's the what we are talking, because when you look at it, these are wealth without enterprise. You won't see the likes of Cosmos Modcam, now advertising, for example, who have wealth that is rooted doing all sorts of such things. You won't have men who have labored for their wealth, coming to throw it lavishly. No, because that's wealth without enterprise, and you see it over time. Funny enough, give it time. You see these individuals who have done all this, you see them at times trekking because they can't sustain that weight. You see them,
or they are looking for another means to get it again.
For another means, because it's not sustainable. And that's what Oprah Winfrey is pointing us this morning, that we should not work at just being successful, but work at being significant. Which is why the Igbo apprenticeship system works till tomorrow.
That's true. All right, thank you very much for that. Well, like Oprah's quote says this morning, don't worry about being successful, but work toward being significant, and the success will naturally follow. Now, Oprah is also still telling us that we should forget about chasing titles, chasing fame, the applause and everything, but rather we should work on being valuable. We should work on that being significant. Make yourself to be valued. Make yourself, in fact, put value on yourself. I put a price on yourself, actually, if I should use that word. And then we should know that success isn't the destination, but instead significance is. If you're successful at the end of the day and nobody knows you, nobody has heard your name before, then it doesn't prove anything. But when you're significant, even if you don't have that wealth, like people say, stinking wealth, yes, but instead there's a particular thing people know you for. This is what Oprah Winfrey's quote is trying to tell us today, and also it's also trying to say that we should keep in mind that whenever we always help people out, that is what they will remember you for, as somebody, because this is part of your significance, this is part of what you do, this is now part of you, and people remember it for it. And then when you also pursue your passion with purpose, opportunities come naturally. Now, I'm not trying to take a side here, but I'm stating out that when, like, the get rich quick syndrome, now you have value for your money, you have plans for what you're chasing. Now, when you chase it with passion and everything, like, opportunities will come your way, and then you build yourself significantly. And also that when you invest in becoming valuable, success begins to look for you. Now, you don't need to go and start looking for success. Instead, it will be them coming towards you. Now, if you are good at what you do, if this is what you can do and you do it best, you would find out that everyone is looking for you, just you, no matter how small you are, no matter how big you are. But instead, according to Winfrey's quote today, let us try and chase significance, not only success. Now, success is good, success is beautiful, but instead, let us put a value to ourselves. Let us put value in order for us to be known as this significant person. And also, as we step about our day today, let us keep in mind, and let us keep in mind that we're important, and also that we shouldn't stress about the spotlight. We shouldn't stress about the spotlight, but instead focus on what you know how to do and do it best, and put your whole heart to it. Like you rightfully said, people, the Igbo is known for apprenticeship. Now, after serving your master for a long time, at the end of the day, he settles you, and you find out that they value that settlement.
Yes.
Now they want to build it up to become something
Sorry,
better.
yes,
Yeah.
and sorry, because that's a process. They've gone through that process, and it's that process Oprah is telling us about,
Yeah.
being remaining significant. You see, anybody that has gone through process, the person stays true to that process,
That's
and that's
true.
why you see them becoming more successful over time. You know, I've seen instances where even graduates that didn't pass through that system fail in business. But you see some of the people who have become successful in this Igbo apprenticeship system, they never saw the four walls of the school. They never attended a primary school before. Some stopped at primary 3, primary 6, and you see them turn out to be very successful businessmen because they've undergone through that process. And it's that process, Debbie, I think Oprah is telling us to continue to remain significant, because that's the process. And that process at the end of the day pays off, leading you to being successful.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. So as we heard about our day today, whether we're students, we're workers, or wherever you are, please keep in mind that when you live your life in a way that touches others, that success isn't just possible, it is inevitable. Now, success would surely come knocking at your door. So if you should be significant and if you should have value, that's why sometimes mostly we look at celebrities, we look at people and say, what, when you go online and ask of this person's worth, now they bring it out for you. Okay, this is what the person is worth. Now I'm using this platform as an example to say that when you put value to your name, when you add value to yourself, be what people remember, and let there be something that is significant. Let us be something that is good that people remember you with, and not just, okay, yes, this is the person that just squanders the money, or he or she earns. That is not even her money, it's not even his money. But instead, I'm saying money, for example, because that is what everybody is definitely after. So let us try and be significant in our own way. Let us be unique in our own way. At the end of the day, success will come finding us. And please do not forget that each new sunrise is an opportunity for us to grow, is a platform for us to learn or try something new every day. And please let us know what this quote means to you. You can drop your thoughts on Facebook, X, Instagram, or TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV, or you can call our phone number 070-3043-7110. We'll be right back after the break.
Hooray! It's Christmas. The King is born. Hey children, it's time to laugh, to dance and have some fun. Put on your dancing shoes and bring your friends along. Come on, it's the Aneke TV Children's Christmas Party 2025. Let's go! We got dancing, spelling bees, sack race, jumping 1, 2, 3, lots of games and surprises too. All we are waiting for is you. And venue is Aneke TV, number 30, Edinburgh Street, Ogwini Layout, Enugu. Come take your seat. Time is 12 o'clock. Don't be late. We can't wait to celebrate. Sponsored by Indomie. Yummy treats. Colgate, our smile so sweet. Kellogg's, bring the crunchy cheers. Malta Guinness, energy all year, powered by Nigerian Breweries, and this is the best party guaranteed. Come one, come all, it's Christmas cheers. Be there, be happy, the fun, it's here.
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Next, let's take a look at the weather across major cities in the southeast today.
Yes, and in Oka, early morning starts off a bit moody with showers, then clouds through mid-morning. By midday, things brightens a bit, partly sunny skies with temperatures hitting 30 degrees Celsius. Late afternoon, stroke early evening, keep an umbrella handy. Scattered thunderstorms likely.
Good morning, Coast City, and over to Enugu. Gorgeous start to the day. Partly cloudy and 24 degrees Celsius. Through morning, clouds linger and temperature climbs up to around 34 to 35 degrees Celsius by mid-afternoon. Skies turn partly sunny into the evening. A dry, warm, and relatively stable day.
And in Abakaliki, it's a calm, cloudy morning, about 24 degrees Celsius. Clouds begin to clear around noon, sunshine peeks through. Expect hot and hazy condition up to 35 degrees Celsius by afternoon. Evening cools down, is gentle, and skies stay mostly clear.
And good morning, Imo State. Overcast and chill around 23 to 24 degrees Celsius as you rise this morning. Watch out by late morning, thunderstorms are likely. Expect a rainy, dramatic start to the late morning. After the storm, the skies slowly clear, cloudy to cloudy, partly sunny, with temperatures rising to 32 to 89 degrees Celsius.
And lastly, in Umahia, cloudy and comfortable now, around 23 to 24 degrees Celsius. Rain and thunderstorms likely between morning. Might need that raincoat or umbrella. Midday to afternoon stays mostly cloudy, warming up to about 32 degrees Celsius. The evening brings a little respite as cloud ease.
So, wherever you are in Southeast today, stay safe, stay cool, dress light. But do remember that rain or shine, we've got you covered. And this is your weather report on Sunrise on Aneke TV. We'll take a short break. I will be right back with more updates.
Hooray! It's Christmas. The King is born. Hey children, it's time to laugh, to dance and have some fun. Put on your dancing shoes and bring your friends along. Come on, it's the Aneke TV Children's Christmas Party 2025. Let's go! We got dancing, spelling bees, sack race, jumping 1, 2, 3, lots of games and surprises too. All we are waiting for is you. And venue is Aneke TV, number 30, Edinburgh Street, Ogwini Layout, Enugu. Come take your seat. Time is 12 o'clock. Don't be late. We can't wait to celebrate. Sponsored by Indomie. Yummy treats. Colgate, our smile so sweet. Kellogg's, bring the crunchy cheers. Malta Guinness, energy all year, powered by Nigerian Breweries, and this is the best party guaranteed. Come one, come all, it's Christmas cheers. Be there, be happy, the fun, it's here.
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Now let's take a look at the front page news across major newspapers today in The Nation, Punch, Vanguard and The Guardian newspaper. Now The Nation headline says, Defense Minister Badara resigns. And the Punch headline says, abduction surge, Northern governors demand mining suspension, unveil 228 billion naira security fund. And then on the Vanguard headline says, insecurity, Northern governors, OK State Police suspend mining. And in the Guardian headline says, Northern leaders suspend mining, back State Police to tackle insecurity. And our paper will be starting from the Nation headline today that says, the First Minister Badara resigned. Our top story this morning, the Mohammed Badara Abubakar has officially resigned as Minister of Defense, effective immediately. In a letter dated December 1st, Mr. Badara said he was stepping down on health grounds. The resignation was accepted by Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the presidency thanked him for his service. Mr. Ocha, I'd like to know your thoughts on this headline.
Well, I don't know how to begin to look at the issue of this resignation, either to be excited that we're seeing a resignation of the defense minister at this point in time, or to be quite apprehensive if there are other reasons. But be that as it may, Badaru that we know, who is the defense minister, he's about 63 years old as we speak, and then he's from Jigawa State. a businessman and politician who has been a two-term governor of Jigawa State, from 2015 to 2023, and he's one of the inaugural ministers of the president, being one of the ministers that we inaugurated as at 21st of August in 2023, when the president was sworn into office, one of his earliest appointees, and then seeing Badaru, resigning from such a position where he's been appointed as, and he has served as the Minister of Defense. And then this morning we're hearing that he's resigned from that exalted office. And over the period that he presided as the defense minister, one of his jobs, or majorly, he was overseeing the armed forces, coordinating anti-insurgents and operation, managing defense budgets as well. And beyond that, that's a very critical job, in the sense that he dealt with grappling terrorism, banditry, Boko Haram, ISWAP, that we've witnessed across the length and breadth, especially in northern Nigeria. But quite troublesome is that we are being told that he is resigning on head ground. The information came from the advisor to Mr. President Bayo Ononoga, who announced that Badaru has resigned from his position on head ground, and the president received his resignation, which has prompted a lot of individuals to begin to, raise concern in that the manner of resignation. And I don't know if this is the normal procedure in this government, because we've noticed that when every top government ranking official resigns in this administration, is usually on head grounds. And if we were to look at that instance, because Badaro that we saw, some few days back, was hale and hearty, walked with strides and all that. He didn't show any sign of sickness in any way. And then being told this morning that he has resigned has led a lot of people to begin to have a deep search into concerns to why he will leave his position. But if one is to hazard opinion into this resignation, I may think that it's not connected to the level of insurgency that we witness, insecurity that we're witnessing in these times, being that the United States of America will keep speaking to it as designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, raising alarm about killing of Christians in Nigeria, and with the debates raging on and on concerning the status quo of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, where people don't have religious freedom, and where there is this this shadow of Islamization on about Nigeria, has raised a lot of concern. And amidst that, we were thinking that with the, with the debate ranging concerning insecurity in Nigeria, that we will have witnessed a decline in security issues. Talk about banditry, talk about terrorism, talk about the ASWAP and the Boko Haram and the Lakroma and the rest of them. We were thinking that the insecurity in Nigeria will begin to subside, being that there is a global attention on Nigeria, with President Trump coming out to say that he is most likely to put boots on ground in Nigeria. Why that debate ranges on what we have witnessed is myriads of kidnap ranging from Niger, where school children at a Catholic school were were kidnapped.
Abducted,
Yes, not talking about the issue in Marga, where about 25 to 26 school children were equally kidnapped. We're not talking about issues in Kwara, Kebbi, Niger State as well. And when you look at the numbers that have been kidnapped in fortnight, the number has risen. It has corrected to over 300 children. Even most recently, we've been told that even in the FCT, even a pregnant woman and a nursing mother were equally part of people who've been kidnapped. When you speak to insecurity in Nigeria, it has no boundaries, because it goes across the state. Now we are heightening attention in the north due to the spate of the increase in that region. And then the defense minister, who is from Jigawa State, coming to resign amidst this challenge, where he has, led the coordinating efforts of our armed forces over time, leaves more with the being told that he's resigning on head ground. A man who saw very healthy, begins to raise a lot of questions concerning that resignation, which many people have now come out to cite that is as a result of the failures in curtailing the activities of the Boko Haram aswap, the myriads of kidnapping cases that we are witnessing across the length and breadth of the northern region.
Yeah.
That's not to understand the fact that the southern Nigeria, eastern Nigeria, and the west are equally battling with challenges of insecurity as well. But be that as it may, we're now beginning to look at what would made the defense minister resign, a man who is one of the top-ranking ministers in this administration, citing health grounds. If he is actually sick, then just like the president did by wishing him quick recovery, we're equally wishing him quick recovery as well, that he should go home and take care of his health. Being that we are in a climate where people don't seem to resign from office, people are usually forced to leave office, or when they lose the election, they leave that office. Then many people have come out to say that this may not be unconnected to the fact that there is a link allegedly, because the fact has not been made publicly, that the minister for state is equally linked to the issue of some of these heinous activities of the these bandits and all that. The facts in this we cannot ascertain at this moment, but people are hazarding a guess to why the defense minister is resigning. And again, you recall that the former CDS, talk about retired General Christopher Musa, had a meeting with the president, and people are beginning to speculate that his leaving is in a way, to make room available for retired General Christopher Musa to take over as substantive defense minister, being that retired General Christopher Musa himself is quite experienced in coordinating and leading onslaught against terrorism, banditry, that such a man occupying such an elevated position will give Nigeria the privilege and opportunity to lead a serious onslaught against, these terrorists and bandits. However, many people have come out equally to link his resignation to his comment a few days back, where the defense minister talking about Badaru, came out public to say that the Nigerian Air Force, their bombs is unable to penetrate the thick forest where these bandits hide, and many have said that has emboldened the bandits, the terrorists, to continue to lead an onslaught against the Nigerian state. I don't know, we're just hazarding a guess to why, if these are the issues that pressured him to leave such office. There is quite speculation here and there. But above all, the conclusion I want to drive is that under his watch, we've witnessed heightened insecurity across the length and breadth of this nation. And on that ground is a good enough reason for anybody to leave office. Yes, I started by saying that we do not witness such resignations in Nigeria. Yeah. And if we were told that it was on that ground that the defense minister has resigned, we will celebrate him the more. But if I want to link this to be a tradition with this government, you will recall that the former governor of Kano State talked about the APC chairman, Umar Ganduje. When he resigned from his position as the chairman of APC, what were we told? We were told that he was on held ground, that he left office. Yeah. And a man who we were told that left his position as the chairman of APC on held ground was within the next month, appointed into another office by the same government. So now makes you to, take with a pinch of salt when you are told that people are resigning on held ground on this issue. If I may want to overstep my bounds and, peek into situation with this government, I'll begin to look at the issue of people who have been forced, to resign or submit their resignation letter to Mr. President, talking about the case in Enugu of the then Minister Uche Nnaji, right, who was forced to resign based on allegation concerning his certificate, the university certificate and NYC, participation, leading him to resign, quietly to the president without this issue being, challenged or being seen through in court. So when you take these scenarios, you begin to think that this is a trajectory in this government where people will be forced to leave their office, citing issues that are unconnected to the main reason, leaving the generality of Nigerians to begin to hazard a gaze into why such a person is leaving office. And given that this is a high-profile individual and is a strong APC stalwart, being made to resign from this office, a lot of people are beginning to look at what the perception will be in Jigawa State, where he comes from, where they will have this, this apprehension over the ruling party, being that they are losing their slots. Defense ministry is one of the most coveted seats, as a minister, and one of the most exalted position in Nigeria. But be that as it may, many have come out to say that because of his civilian background, he has no technicalities in military operation. He is not a soldier. You understand? And then being made to oversee, the armed forces that is at war, even though we don't want to accept it, but we are burdened with criminalities leading to insurgents and high level of kidnappings all over the place. Just a few days ago, the former governor of Anambra State, he talked about Dr. Chris Ngige, was attacked. So you have heightened insecurity in Nigeria, and it may be germane that such a man, though a very savvy businessman and a good politician, is meant to step aside, because if I may say, the tides are getting higher, and this where you may need someone who is good in military tactics and operation, to begin to spearhead the activities in this agency, in this ministry, where you need high-level coordination amongst the various security agencies that we have in Nigeria. And General Christopher Musa being touted to be the one that is being positioned to take such a position. If at the end of the day, that's rumor, he is the one, yes, people will begin to give credence to why the Badaro needs to resign, being a civilian himself with no technical know-how on military operations. So if that's the case, it's worth it that he's stepping outside, so that this government that has declared a state of emergency on insecurity will begin to take a decisive action on insecurity. And for me, that's a step in right direction. But what I'm against is government, shrouding everything in secrecy. That shouldn't be the way to go. We should commend men like him for their efforts, for their service to the nation, and then allow them to, step out, to go fill into other roles. And that speaks to the fact that when we appoint people into offices, it shouldn't be for, compensation, where you begin to appoint men into offices where they don't fit in. What would have stopped us from day one appointing someone with military security experience into such position? Perhaps we won't be witnessing this heightened level of insecurity across the length and breadth of this nation. So it now behoves on our leaders to, from the onset, begin to look for men, irrespective of which political party the person belongs to, which part of the country the person comes from. So far as a man is qualified to, in fact, they should look out for most qualified people to occupy such positions. If you remember, when the former President Olusegun Obasanjo left office, and his appointees, were rushed by the international community, speaking to Ngozo Konjiwala and the likes of them. They were all rushed, by international organization. Where is Ngozo Konjiwala today? She is there at the World Trade, Trade Organization, a very, very important role in the world. And because Nigeria appointed men with quality that the world could see to it that these are capable hands, and we should equally emulate that line in our appointments as a nation, where we do not have to begin to pamper issues, begin to pancake issues on why somebody has left an office. Yes, it is pertinent to say that Badaru, though a good man, has done a very wonderful job in this very position, but the stakes are now higher, and he is being overwhelmed by the situation. And President, that has declared a state of emergency, may want a more capable hand in such position. And that does not take away from the fact that tomorrow he could be appointed into other offices, or be made an ambassador, isn't it? As that, because he has a better profile than most of the people that we've seen on the ambassadorial list. So, but for me, the most important thing is that there's an opportunity for Mr. President to appoint someone into that office who is well knowledge in the theater operation and coordination of the various, security forces to see that the onslaught against these insurgents are sustained, and will have a coordinated effort to see that insecurity is brought to the barest minimum in Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much for that. Well, now we're moving over to our next paper for today, coming from the Vanguard headline that says, Northern governors approve state police suspend mining. In line with the Punch reports today from the Vanguard, Because the Punch headline says abduction surge, Northern governors demand mining suspension, unveiled 228 billion naira security fund. Now, the Vanguard confirms that the Northern governors have given their backing to the establishment of state-level police forces, arguing the current centralized police structure is no longer adequate for Nigerian size and complexity. They also formally requested a 6-month ban on mining exploration in the region, aimed at cutting off illicit financing channels for gangs and armed groups. This collective decision reflects what many in the region now see as a critical turning point, calling for bold reforms rather than piecemeal responses if security is to be restored.
Well, insecurity in Nigeria, has been on the front burner for the past months.
Yes.
You understand? We've been speaking to insecurity in Nigeria, and that without the fact that this is on the heightened, scenario in Nigeria. And it's just like I just said, since the Donald Trump brought attention to the activity of insurgents, the killings in Nigeria, where we were thinking that we'll have the situation so reduced to the barest minimum. What we're now witnessing is
An
an
escalation.
onslaught against the state, especially against the girl child and students, in Nigeria, where students are now being kidnapped. And we've over the months hazard a guess that perhaps they want to use these children as shield if Donald Trump eventually attacks. But before I go into speaking to this issue now, I want to first of all thank the president, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, because we are seeing that these children are being returned, to the state and will be reunited with their families. And unlike what we witnessed in Chibok in 2014, 2015, where we could not give a comprehensive account of the return of the kidnapped Chibok children, but this time around we are seeing the return of these, victims, telling you that government is quite active, without resting and seeing to it. And we'll listen to the president when he said that he has suspended his foreign trip, to personally, spearhead the efforts to return these children.
Yeah.
And that's where I congratulate him now that we've heard and seen that these children are beginning to return.
Back home, yeah.
Yes, irrespective of the conversation around how the government was able to bring these children back home. But what I say that in whichever method they've applied, though some methods may be questioned, but it is heartwarming to know that these children have been returned back to their parents, that the parents will be reunited with their children. That's one of the primary duties of a state. However, beyond that, we're expecting that the Nigerian government should be able to let the bandits, the terrorists, know that you cannot mess with Nigeria and Nigerians and go scot-free.
Yeah.
It's time we begin to adapt that Israeli kind of state policy on security, on protecting the life and property of its national, where we do not, allow, these bandits determine or dictate the pace for us. We should rather set the pace for them. Having said that, looking at the headline of the Vanguard newspaper, where we were beginning to see that the northern governors have come together, to deliberate on issue of insecurity in their region, just like we heard and saw from the western caucus of the western governors, where they met in Ibadan the other day to decide on issues concerning insecurity. Every region seems to be meeting, everyone seems to be paying attention and taking action concerning the state of Nigeria at the moment. We need all hands on deck. The western governors set the ball rolling by coming together, to in that meeting set a fund to cater for security issues in their region, to see that the deep forest belt in their region is well secure, not to give room to the insurgents to have access into the western region as well. And beyond that, we heard that the governors as well called for state policing. And in this meeting that the northern governors had across the northern 19 northern governors were in attendance in Kaduna State, for example, with traditional rulers as well, to discuss the security situation of the North, which is very critical at this point in time. And they've come out to say that if they do nothing, they stand losing their future to escalating insecurity in Nigeria, where we'll see that if one begins to look at the issues, and the governors as well and the traditional rulers have spoken to it, going to that the level of poverty in the region, the heightened illiteracy in the region are contributory to the high level of insecurity we are witnessing in that region. And the earlier they start to do something in that line, the better for all. However, fixing poverty and illiteracy may not be a quick fix, but one thing that can be a quick fix is the governors coming together, to have an agreement and decide on a path to follow, And in this meeting, they've taken decisive actions that I, for one, am excited for, coming out to, ask the federal government to ban mining, in the region for at least 6 months. And speaking to mining, I can tell you that these illegal minings that litter across the length and breadth of northern Nigeria are one of the cataclysmic effects that are fueling insurgency that we have in northern Nigeria. It's fueling insecurity in northern Nigeria, because I tell you that the number of illegal mines that we have in northern Nigeria are unaccounted for, and the governors have come again to reaffirm, provide a lot of resources to non-state actors, giving them the opportunity to begin to regroup and have more arms. In some scenarios, we've seen where they brandish more sophisticated weapons than our security agents, and would keep asking to how they get fundings and when there are available illegal mines. If the federal government will heed to the call of these northern governors and place a mining ban, at least for the 6 months that they've requested, I bet you, if we implement this policy and place it very well, you will see that insecurity will begin to be reduced, if not wipe that completely. Because over the years, we've spoken to the fact that illegal mining is part of the things that is fueling insurgency in northern Nigeria. One, they may have to dislodge the community where they want to take control of the mine. Then when they dislodge the community, if there are people around the area, they will be dislodged too. And beyond that, they will begin to mine and raise more funds. They will now have, myriads of unaccounted resources to their disposal to re-equip themselves. So governments would take the right decision by taking a cue from the northern governors who have now come out to begin to speak truth. There was a time where these things were shrouded in secrecy. Nobody wants to accept that, yes, there are mining going on in their region, because these minings are unaccounted for. We do not know what government is generating as revenue from some of this mining. And it is not the first time this is happening in the world. You remember that when America came, into the situation with Niger, Chad, there was a lot of, illegal mining activities going on in that place. And one of the things that were done was that they stopped locals from mining. Though I'm not in support that the Americans and the other foreign nationals took over the mining operation in these areas away from the locals. But one of the things that we witnessed was that insecurity was reduced when the mining operations were closed, to the indigenes and to some other foreigners from across the Sahel and Africa. So with that in mind, I believe that when this is implemented, the suspension of mining activities in the region will lead to, a situation where we'll see insecurity being reduced. Another issue that was raised by the meeting of the northern governors and traditional rulers is lending their voice, to their earliest call on May 10th when they called for state policing. This time around, we are beginning to see comprehensively that every voice is in accord and in tune that, yes, it's time for Nigeria to look into state policing. The president has led the ante by mandating the legislature to expedite action with their state counterparts to passing the legal needed reforms and the bill needed to institute state policing across the states in Nigeria. And this is quite welcome that the northern governors are speaking in one accord. It's been the PAN social cultural organization over time that has been calling for state policing. And this time around, we are seeing elected officials, beginning to speak to it. People are no longer as worried to the argument that we made that this state police, if it brought into effect, maybe abused by politicians. But one thing I have always spoken to is that with the enabling laws, that this may be difficult to be abused when you have enabling laws surrounding the institution of state police, but won't, because of the fear of abuse, continue to wallow in the level of insecurity that we are witnessing in Nigeria. One of the ways we could curb this is by state police. I am an advocate of state and community policing, that this will go a long way in reducing criminality, and this is what is obtainable across anywhere in the globe. Come to the United States of America. You have community policing, you have state policing, and you have the federal policing. And that, what does that do? That helps you to check crime.
Yeah.
I always cite the case of the former governor of Anambra State, talk about Peter Obi, when he was talking about his days in office, where he enabled community policing. And the then commissioner of police came out to testify, yes, that Anambra State that was bedeviled before his era with bank robberies, witnessed no bank robbery throughout the period, that saw that it was so difficult that when you commit a crime in one community, and before you get to the next community, they've been radioed and they are waiting for you. And you can imagine what we will achieve if we were able to, have this legislation and set up state police and community policing. And kudos to Mr. President, who has equally told the National Intelligence Agency and the DSS to begin to oversee to the rehabilitation and the reemergence of forest guards, right? With that in place, these insurgents will not be able to move about freely. You will see the cases of kidnapping will begin to reduce because they may not have access to the thick forests, to the thick communities where they take the victims to. And this is a step in the right direction. And this coming amidst the various incidents of kidnapping, terrorist and banditry activities that we are witnessing in the north. Remember that even recently in Shanono location, Shanono in Kano, we saw the kidnapping of 11 persons, including a nursing mother, which is a very heinous crime against humanity, to take hostage a nursing mother for that matter. The level of repetition of these things make us to speak about it as if, is something that should just be overlooked. Just like the Igbos will always say that in their language, meaning literally that when another person's corpse is being carried, people tend to look at it as if it's a log of wood that is being, carried. Yeah. Because he has not touched us, but we don't give an outcry to this scenario where insurgents will enter a village, and carry away 11 persons and the nursing mother. In some cases, we've heard that pregnant women were equally kidnapped. Though that's not to say that the government is not doing enough to see to this scenario, but the governors rising to this occasion, begin to meet and speak to one another about the situation is quite commendable. And this is a way to go. With this in mind, we will be able to check the crisis that we are witnessing in Nigeria concerning insecurity, where everybody is beginning to speak with one voice. And in this meeting again, they started mobilizing funds as well to raise about, talking about raising about 228 billion annually as an operational fund, to fight issues related to insecurity in their region, where every state, every local government, would in every month contribute 1 billion naira. And then cumulatively in a year, you get to 228 billion, which is a step in the right direction.
Yes,
we've been speaking to these issues.
To encourage this state police also.
Yes, and that will encourage that. And, beyond the issue of the state policing and these funds that everybody is talking about, because what you hear every time there is an attack, you hear the governors telling you that they do not have control of security in their state, where they have to, first of all, call, the federal before they have to send men to them, and where the commissioner of police in every state has to take order from the IGP, doesn't give you a cohesive approach to tackling security challenges. So with the state policing and every region coming together to begin to set funds, begin to prioritize the issue of insecurity, is something to warm up to, knowing that the Nigerian state is now taking it seriously amid the fact that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has come out to declare state of emergency on insecurity. And it is where I look forward that the governors of Eastern Nigeria as well, will come together and have a meeting, a tete-a-tete like this, where we begin to talk about how we curb incidents of kidnapping in our region as well, where the south governors, if there's anything like that, the Niger Delta regions as well, will come together to meet and see how they will curtail crime in their region. And with that, I will tell you that the Nigerian states, people will begin to, things will begin to return to normalcy, where we'll travel in peace, where we'll sleep with our eyes closed. Because when I keep telling you that I'm getting overwhelmed, discussing insecurity in Nigeria, because for almost a month plus, what we've been talking about is kidnapping and killings in Nigeria, and it's quite unfortunate and cannot be tolerated in any state. It's only in failed states that you see such scenario, and I know that Nigeria is not a failed state. We have leaders, we have a president who have the will, we have a Nigerian state that have the capacity. Then it's time for us to lead an onslaught and decimate these bandits by whatever name they go, ISWAP, Boko Haram, Lakoroma, whatever name they bear. We do not need to lead or listen to such nomenclature, but decimate them and decimate them totally.
All right, thank you very much for that, as we've all heard today. And that is all for our newspaper review here on Sunrise on Aneke TV. And please do not forget that you could grab any of your physical copies from any of your favorite vendor or catch the e-paper online for more broader information. And we'll be right back after the break.
Hooray! It's Christmas. The King is born. Hey children, it's time to laugh, to dance and have some fun. Put on your dancing shoes and bring your friends along. Come on, it's the Aneke TV Children's Christmas Party 2025. Let's go! We got dancing, spelling bees, sack race, jumping 1, 2, 3, lots of games and surprises too. All we are waiting for is you. And venue is Aneke TV, number 30, Edinburgh Street, Ogwini Layout, Enugu. Come take your seat. Time is 12 o'clock. Don't be late. We can't wait to celebrate. Sponsored by Indomie. Yummy treats. Colgate, our smile so sweet. Kellogg's, bring the crunchy cheers. Malta Guinness, energy all year. Powered by Nigerian Breweries. And this is the best party guaranteed. Come one, come all. It's Christmas cheers. Be there. Be happy. The fun, it's here.
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Now we'll be taking you to our sports update today. The U.S. President Donald Trump will attend Friday's FIFA World Cup Finals draw at the Kennedy Center in Washington. The event is a major highlight of his second term and part of preparations for America's 250th independence anniversary next year. And the tournament has faced political tension, with the president suggesting some host cities may lose matches due to his crackdown on what he calls crime and illegal migration in certain democratic-run areas. The U.S. will co-host the 2026 World Cup with Canada and Mexico, with the draw expected to set the tone for global attention on the tri-national event. Kwara United forward Eze Chibuzo says he is deeply disappointed after his side 3-2 loss to Barrow FC in Kano. Chibuzo had opened scoring in the match day 15 fixture, but said the team's efforts were not enough to secure a point. The striker, speaking to the club's media team, expressed determination to increase his contributions as the season progresses. He vowed to build on his current form and help the team bounce back. The Kwara United will host Niger Tornadoes in Ilori this weekend as they seek to recover from the narrow defeat. And that is it for your sports update today. And now we'll be moving over to our celebration for today, which is the International Universal Health Coverage Day. And today, 2nd December, marks the International Health Coverage Day all around the world. Now, International Universal Health Coverage Day is being celebrated where you share personal health stories. You also engage with local representatives, host community discussions, and so on, also educate yourself and others. The International Universal Health Coverage Day began with a shared vision: healthcare should be available to all regardless of income or location. In 2012, the United Nations General Assembly endorsed a resolution urging countries to accelerate progress towards universal health coverage (UHC) as an essential priority for international development. This resolution emphasized that everyone should have access to quality, affordable healthcare. In 2014, the Universal Health Coverage Coalition started celebrating 12 December as UHC Day to commemorate this milestone. Then in 2017, the UN officially designated 12 December as International Universal Health Coverage Day, making it an annual observance to promote health for all individuals going through any health challenges, whether you can't afford the hospital or not. Now, simply, this day is just to mark a day where everybody can have an access to a health center and also to treat themselves from any diseases. And that is all for your celebration for today here on Sunrise on Aneke TV. We'll be taking a look at our business stock update.
All right, switching to the business stock update from the Nigerian stock market that closed yesterday, Monday, 1st December 2025. The markets closed on a mildly negative note, with the all-share index down about 0.22% and total market capitalization slipping by roughly 197 to 200 billion naira. The Nigerian stock markets yesterday, the Nigerian all-share index yesterday closed around 143,210 points, down to about 0.22% all day. In market capitalization fell to about 91.1 trillion naira, also down roughly to 0.22%, while year-to-date return moderated to about 39.1%. Market activity was mixed. The number of these rose sharply, around 40% increase, while total volume and value traded declined compared to prior session. Then we'll bring you the top 5 gainers from yesterday's activities on the Nigerian stock market. The top gainers yesterday was led by Custodian and Allied Insurance, which was traded with the trade name Custodian, which adjusted plus 9.94% to close yesterday at 44 naira 80 kobo. They were followed by Multiverse Mining and Exploration, which is being traded as Multiverse. Multiverse adjusted plus 9.68% to close at 13 naira 60 kobo. They are followed by Unicell Interlinked. Unicell is traded with the name Unicell, which adjusted at plus 9.45% to close at 27 naira 80 kobo. Then followed by eTransat International, which is traded with the name eTransat. It adjusted plus 9.45% to close at 17 naira 95 kobo. And on the losers chart, the top 5 losers yesterday was Austin Lars, which yesterday adjusted minus 6.27% to close at 2 naira 69 kobo. Then they were followed by Deep Capital Management and Trust with the trade name DCAP. The cap yesterday adjusted minus 5.56%. And then they were followed by FTN Coca Processor, which is being traded as FTN Coca, which adjusted yesterday for about 4.84%. And then they are followed on the losers list by Regency Alliance Insurance with the trading name Regalins, which yesterday adjusted for about 4.40%. And then another one in the market yesterday on the list of losers beyond the Regalians and the CAP and Austin Lars, who have that market activities yesterday, were led by the Access shares that traded heavily yesterday. However, we do want to inform you that the market has opened for today, December the 2nd, and if you want to make any investment owing to the market volatility in the market, please do consult a financial expert before you make any investment. And that's it for the update, Nigerian Stock Exchange update.
All right, thank you very much for that. And that is all for today's edition on Sunrise here today. And thank you for staying with us to this very moment. And please do not forget to tag us across our social media handles, across Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube, all at Aneke TV. And do not forget to call us on 070-3043-7110. I am Deborah Wakaba.
And I'm Uche Osai. Remember, you're not here to be average. Be unique. Keep watching Aneke TV till we come your way same time tomorrow. Bye-bye. The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the bold mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter who sorts is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices. Uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on The Insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us.
From the tiniest cells to the farthest galaxies, life holds secrets we are only beginning to uncover. Why are we here? What connects us all? What unseen forces shape our destiny? Join Professor Jude Udenta as he explores the wonders, the questions, and the revelations that define existence. Mysteries of life, where every answer sparks a new discovery. Watch now on Aneke TV every Monday.
Ekene gị bụ onye ọma na-esonyela anyị na nzukọ ụmụ nwanyị na Aneke TV. Abụ m Ngozi Otahumele. Na nke taa, ihe anyị na-eji n'anya bụ ọbụrụ ndị oyibo asị na 16 days, abalị 16 ụmụ nwanyị na-agagharị n'ụzọ. Apụta m fụ ka ụmụ nwanyị yiche uniform na-agagharị n'ụzọ. Mgbe jụọ gịnị na-ese, onwe onye achọ ịkwatu n'ọkwa ka gịnị. O wee bụrụ ndị na-ekwu okwu, ọnụ na-ekwulu na ọ bụkwa na ntị a na-ekwulu ga-anụ na-ekwuchitelu ndị mmadụ ndị a na-akpagbu. Ọ bụ ndị oyibo sị na gender based violence. Mgbe sị mba na ọ dị mma ka anyị kpaa nkata anụnwa n'oge nnọkọ ụmụ nwaanyị, maka na ihe a na-ekwu bụ ihe gbasara ụmụ nwaanyị ndị nwoke na ụmụ anyị ndị nwaanyị ndị a na-emegbu. Kedu ndị na-ekwu maka ha tata? Ndị so mgbe nọ n'ụbọchị nke tata bụ ndị ọ na-abụ mkpọkwa mgbe ọbụla ha bịa zam. Onye nọ m n'aka ekpe wee bụ Barrister Sylvia Abana. Barrister Sylvia Abana ya bụ chairperson, onye isi na-enekọta League of Women Voters nke Enugu. Barrister Sylvia, anyị na-asị gị nnọọ na nke taa.
Daalụkwara nne, abụkwa m focal person na African Women Lawyers Association, AULA, Enugu.
African Women Lawyers Association nke Enugu. Anyị na-asị gị nnọọ.
Daalụrụ nne.
Onye ọzọ anyị na-eso wee nọkwa na nke taa wee bụrụ Ngozi Abafọ. Ya bụ aka na-ede akwụkwọ na African Women Lawyers Association, AULA nke Enugu. Anyị na-asị gị nnọọ na nke taa.
Daalụrụ nne.
Amakwa m na mkpọtara afọ anụnwa.
Ọkwa Abafọ.
Oke, Ngozi Abafọ. Nnọọ na nke izu a.
Daalụ.
Dịka anyị si wee kwuo, onwe ka nsi wee fụ ka ụmụ nwaanyị na-agagharị wee sị na ha na-eme abalị 16 iji wee nụọ ọgụ maka mmegide a na-emegide ụmụ nwaanyị na ụmụaka. M ga-ebido ebe ị nọ, Barrister Sylvia Mbana, biko 16 days of activism a unu na-eme m atabikwu ikpe against gender-based violence. Biko ọ gịnị ka ọ pụta, kedu ihe unu ji emerie, maka ọ dịka unu na-eme ihe akwa arọ kwa arọ.
Onye isi oche ndewo. Ịbịa 16 days of activism a ihe mmemme a na-eme kwa arọ. Ihe eji emekwanụ mmemme a bụ ka enwe ike kutucha aja ngwulu na-eme ka a na-abuse ụmụ nwanyị ma ụmụazị. Ịghọtago, because na anyị chọpụta na abuse kali, and anyị na-anụkwa n'ọgụ a na-anụ ya na-anụsi ya ike ka anyị nwee ike ma ihe ọ ga-ebenata. And ọnya kpata kwa arọ anyị na-atụrụkwa ka anyị gwakwa ndị mmadụ na anyị ka nọkwa ya, na anyị ka na-fight kwa maka ịkwụsị gender-based violence. Maka a na-ekwu aja ngwulu a na-encourage gender-based violence, anyị na-ekwu maka ndị ụka, na-ekwu maka ụka, na-ekwu maka ndị communities, na-ekwu maka traditional rulers, na-ekwu maka customs. Because na you find out na mgbe a ga na-eme gender-based violence a, ọ bụrụ n'ụka ka abuse nwatakịrị, maka ya na-ekwu okwu abuse a ka nkọwa Kenya, mgbe ụfọdụ efu na erepu nwatakịrị, mgbe ụfọdụ efu na etiri ya ihe melụcha anya arụ. Ịghọtago, which is not good for that child or which is not good for that woman. And because na anyị mana ụmụ nwanyị ka na-abuse kali, ọnya kpata iji anụrụ ha ọgụ a na-anụsi ihe ike. And the 16 days of activism a na-ebido every 25th of November and then na 10th of December. You got to go, so each Kenya from 25th anwa ruo na 10th of December, if you know 16 days anyị ji anụ ọgụ a. Mana omenirokwa na anyị ada anụ ọgụ since so mana oke wee mark ya na this particular date anyị eme ihe ịtụnanya, ihe nrụba ama gbasalụ gender-based violence ụmụ nwanyị na ụmụazị ụmụ nwanyị na-efesi n'obodo anyị abụ Nigeria. Ọkwa worldwide event, ọ bụrụkwa so n'ebe a, ọ bụrụkwa so na Nigeria ka a na-eme ya tata, a na-eme ya ebe niile. Inene TV, inene redio, ihe afụ ka okwu na-aga. Eri ụtụtụ ndị otu anyị nọcha na TV nọ na different radio stations na-ekwukwa maka ofu ihe a. And breaking these walls ọ dị mkpa maka na ụlọ ụka echebu bụ a safe place. Bịazi enwe ụdị ihe a esweep onye under the carpet maka anyị chọrọ ịdị na-ekwuzi okwu dị ka o si wee dị. Because na ọ bụ na ikwuru ka o si wee dị, ihe a na-emebi ndị pastors, ndị reverend fathers, ndị kedafia ụkọchukwu dị iche iche na different churches, ụlọ ụka dị iche iche. Ifu na a na-enwe abuse on a daily basis. Nwatakịrị abịa n'ụdị na ọbịa ikpe ekpele, ụmụ nwaanyị eje n'ụdị na ha so alụ ọrụ ụka, ịlụzi ebe a akọba ihe ọzọ, ọ dịrọ ntị mma. So we want to address it. Anyị chọrọ ka anyị na-ekwu maka ya, na-sensitize ndị mmadụ, na-agwakwa ha na anyị ka nọkwa, anyị na-fight kwa ihe a. And ejigo maka ya setikwa ihe a na-akpọ task force, Enugu State Task Force na-ahazi maka GBV. Ọ bụrụ nwaanyị di ya tiri ihe, ọ bụrụ nwatakịrị erepu, ọ bụrụ onye melụ nke nwa, bịa report. So na iji 16 days of activism a wee na emia imago na-agwakwa ndị mmadụ. Mana ihe nke DCAG wee dị iche bụ na a na-ekwu maka violence in the digital space. Digital space a na-ekwukwa maka ya bụ ihe dịka internet, na Facebook o, WhatsApp, kedafia, Instagram, Twitter nke akpọzi X. Maka ilu ebe a ifu ka ndị mmadụ na-abuse ibe ha, na-akpọ ibe ha iyi, na-ekwu ihe a ya eme onwe ha and the rest of it. Ka ndị mmadụ nwekwa idea na enwekwa provisions of the law of onye abuse mmadụ over this digital space, and we want to protect our women. Anyị chọrọ ka anyị chekwado ha ka a ghara ịdị na abuse ha na digital space. So nasin ka anyị ncha gbakọdo aka ọnụ wee fight ya n'ọgụ a na-eme ụmụ nwanyị na abuse ha na digital space. Koragodi motu
nne mgbe na-abịa ebe ị nọ barista Ngozi abalị 16 eji anụ ọgụ anụnwa kedu ihe unu dobegasị dịka barista si wee kwuo unu na-anụbugwe dị ọgụ mana abalị 16 a o nwee ihe unu ji wee pụta ilo ga-egosi ọ ga-abụ onye unu mechaa anya ọ bụrụ ihe ịrịba ama metụke na ofu ma ịbụ ama atọ ihe unu ji wee pụta na nke ara
ihe a ji wepụta na nke ara bụgodo sensitization
ya bụ ịkọwalụ
ndị mmadụ na ihe dị otu a na ihe dị otu a ihe dị otu a ya bụ ime ihe ọ bụna ịdaga iwu most especially na nke nwere to do with internet space.
Secondly, ihe nwee ike mme ọbụna ma adaga iwu maka o nwee ike mma
ọkwa eziokwu maka na a lot of ọtụtụ ndị mmadụ na-aba abịa ichelu na otu anya bụ ejide fon ihe ọbụla asọ ha ede anwa mara implication of ihe niile afade mana iwu obodo si de onwe ka ihe ahụ si wee metụta onye ihe a na-akpọ cyber bullying ọ bụrụ cyber crime most especially na ọ bụ na iwolu foto mmadụ arụ ya oyiri akwa ghọtago tipịa ya n'ịntanet ndị mmadụ ada aghọta na ụmụ ihe ahụ bụ na ha ada iwu ana iwu obodo ya eji ha
so onye mee ụdị ha aka kpara onye ahụ jebe nga
ezie nga a na-afa ekwu bụ ya elukwa arịsa ana n'isi ekwa ị ga-akwụkwa ihe a na-akpọ fine of up to 5 million.
Maka ọtụtụ ndị mmadụ onwe ndị na-anụtube na onwe ihe ọ ga-abịa ime mmadụ na social media ma na Facebook ma na ihe a na iwu jido gị ọtụtụ ndị mmadụ anụbeghị ya na iwu na-ejide onye ahụ kedụzi mgbe o bido maka ndị dịka m o nwee ike nnu ya nwee ike ọ bụ na m anụbeghị mana ama m na ụmụ ọtụtụ ụmụ nwaanyị na-ene anyị na-ama adị na ụdị ihe adị ọ bụrụ na o nwego onye welu foto ha ụfọdụ ka ị ga-afụ ebe ọ na-asa ahụ mmadụ ejesi n'azụ ụlọ sa anya foto ebe ọ gba atọ ọpụta ọsị gị na ọ bụrụ na enyere ya 1 million ya ewepụta ihe na ama ya bụ na ụdị iwu a ọ dịbụ ka nọọ 16 days a ka o ji wee pụta
onye isi oche daalụrụ nne ụdị iwu a dịbụkwa o ịghọtago ịma enwecha laws iwu anyị nwere n'obodo a kali mana ịmago na ndị be anyị otu a fonu pụtacha uche ha bụrụ na ije na fonu mee ụdị ihe anwa na iwu ama ejide gị because ịbịa inwe constitution the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria iwu dịkwa ebe anwa si gị na-emeso mmadụ omume na-treat ya with dignity of human person ịghọtago that dignity maka mgbe iji esepụta mmadụ ebe ọ gba ọtọ postuo aka nwee dignity anwa mgbe ị bịa kụba mmadụ kụba ya ihe tinka ka ụpan enwezi dignity anwa mgbe ị bịa sị mmadụ m ga-egbu gị m ga-eme gị nke nwa m ga-eme gị nke nwa ị na-akọsụ ya emotional trauma like ijekwa na iwu nke a na-akpọ VAP law enwecha provisions for violence a enwechara ma nke a na-akpọ emotional violence nwee sexual violence nwee psychological one nwee physical one mgbe ijebezi na net kọsụba mmadụ emotional violence ọrụ ofu iwu anwakwu akọsụkwa na mmadụ emotional violence iwejebe na net debe ihe ọ ga-abụ idechelu onye ahụ onwe ike odi n'elu okoropu
ya emotional violence a bụ ihe ọ ga-abịa eme mmadụ
owutiari nne onye etidiri ihe ka kwụ ya mma maka na ụfọdụ nwere ike ọsụcha anya emotional violence odi n'elu ma ihe tetezina so enwecha ụmụ iwu acha enwere the criminal code na-ekwukwa na you don't intimidate somebody may threaten mmadụ mana enwe ike apụzie na internet threaten ba mmadụ o mechaa gị o egbu gị o ga-eme nke nwa ha ncha niile ka bụkwa violence mana the only thing bụ na enwezi a particular law ewepụtakwa a na-akpọ Cyber Crime Prohibition Prevention Act ewepụta na 2015 mana ụfọdụ mmadụ niile amarọ maka ya ọtụtụ anụbeghị maka ya
2015 ya bụ ọ dịgokwa iri kịta ọtụtụ ndị mmadụ amarọ
ọtụtụ ndị mmadụ and the law anụnwapụta because na-afụzi na ndị mmadụ na-ejekwa net a na-eje na digital space na-harass ndị mmadụ na-intimidate ha na-abuse ha left right and center so in order to protect people especially women and children. I na ha ekwu okwu ya for 16 days of activism a nya ka I choose wesi biko ka I mee ka ndị mmadụ malụ na violating women in the digital space, women and girls in the digital space, na we need to end it. And na anyị ncha ga-agbakọ aka wee mee ya bụ ihe. Ọ bụrụ sọ anyị nwa ya eme ya ma Okeke ma Okafọ. Anyị na-akpọkwa ma ụmụ nwoke, because na most times if no ụmụ nwoke na violate ụmụ nwanyị, because na ụmụ nwanyị bụ the most vulnerable.
daalụ dịka ị ka na-esonyela anyị na nkata anyị nke tata. Abalị 16 ụmụ nwaanyị ji ejegharị n'obodo akọwatalụ ndị mmadụ mkpa ọ dị na onwe ha ka isi wee megide mmadụ n'ụdị ọbụla. Maka ị ga-eche nọ mgbe ịtụtụpụla ma mmadụ machie onye ntị onye a daa ma o jebe ụlọ ọgwụ nọ mgbe a bụ mgbe imegide mmadụ. Ọtụtụ ihe ndị mmadụ na-eme karịrị n'ọnụ okwu anyị. Mana onwe ihe m ga-ajụ gị barista dịka anyị nachiteworo azụ. Oge ụfọdụ ndị mmadụ na-ekwu nke na-abụrụ eziokwu maka ọtụtụ ihe ka ị ga-afụ na social media. Emecha ọ bụ na asị ndị ụfọdụ asị na ọ wakporo ya n'ike, emecha ọ bụ na asị ka ekwe ka m ga-esi wee ma nke bụ eziokwu na nke na-abụrụ eziokwu.
Onye isi oche daalụrụ nne, onye a bụ ihe a na-ekwu eziokwu na anyị na-anụ ọgụ a na-anụsikwu ya ike, mana mgbe ụfọdụ enwe ike bụ mmadụ ebubo, mana at the end of the day ọ bụ na onye anwa emere ya, maka na ọ bụrụ onye kpọọ polisi na-ekpegbu and ọ bụkwa na onye bịa buru ụzọ wee rịpọtụọ asị n'ọnya bụ ụzọ wee bịa kpegosi, therefore n'ọnya nwa bụ ihe ikpe ya analụ. A na-emekwa ihe a na-akpọ investigation, maka na enwe ụdị problem a is it that maybe na ịbịa report ọlụ police or na ịbịa report ọlụ ndị CSO, civil society organization or NGO a na-akpọkwa non-governmental organization, si ha nekwa ihe dị otu a nekwa ihe dị otu a efuru ikpesacha a ga-akpọkwa onye nke ọzọ maka dịka ikpe n'ọnụ ofu onye. A ga-akpọkwa onye nke ọzọ si ya nekwa ihe a na-anụ asị na imelụ, kedu ihe inwe ikwu gbasara ya. Onye ahụ ekwuo n'ọnụ ya, okwuchi ọnụ ya enenenu, maka you have to weigh the two from ihe onye akwu na nke onye akwu. Mebe investigation, ọ bụ na ọ sịrị na emele ihe a so date na particular spot time dị otu a, ihe niile a bụ ihe ya emeche investigation ya. Mana ịbịazi enwe ike mgbe a ga na-eme investigation ọ bụ na ebe ọ si na emele ihe nwanụ na ebe ahụ adịghị exist dị, and na time ọ si na-eji wee mee ihe anwa onye anwa anọdịle n'ụlọ ya na ya fụọ dị cha. So mgbe ị bịa mechaa investigation na nwetacha evidence n'ụdị ihe a enwekwa ka o si wee mee, because onye anwa ga-anọ ị na-etrozi ya back to her as in esikwa na mgbe dị otu a na ihe dị otu a mee, kedu ebe ị nọ, kedu ebe onye a nọ. So afindicha ihe a niile efu na ụdị ihe anwa enwere ka o si wee mee. Ọ bụrụ nke ndị oyibo na-akpọ defamation of character, n'inye ha false information. So iwu jidere onye anwa maka na ikpe ga-atọ ọnụzi against onye anwa maka onye nye false information and olidie wee welu asị wee fidicha ndị police echenu ma eziokwu. Mana the good thing bụ na emebe investigation eziokwu agbanụ, eziokwu anwapụtazie. Of course akpọzianụ the accused abụzialụ na accused, onye na accused bụ mmadụ, the plaintiff or the person charged, the complainant abụzialụ ndị anwa bụ the accused person, maka na now ekwugonu na ọ na ihe o weta bụ false information and iwu jikwu ya maka na even ọ ga-eje nga ya elucha afọ ofu afọ ma ọ bụ afọ abụọ maka na George ka ọ dịzelu use discretion ya wee mazialụ nga one ọ ga-enyezi ya and ụdị omume anwa adịrọ mma because ihe ojiro dị mma bụ na onye anwa ịkpọpụtago before the public wee na-asị na o mele ihe a tetọcha anya na o mele ihe dị otu a mee nke ọzọ public a niile nwere ike ma ha nọzi na mgbe ekpechazi ikpe then ụfọdụ ewegolu that information n'abalị onwe ha maazị nke a na akaụntụ ya na omezikwu ya ịghọtago so na ọ dị very bad and anyị na-ediscourage ndị mmadụ inye false information ịbịa ịchọ ikwu ihe dị sure na ihe ị na-ekwu bụ eziokwu maka na ndị otu anyị na-ekwuchitela ụmụ nwanyị agbara na anyị anyị chọọ ka anyị kwuo n'ụdị ihe a adịrọ mma ịghọtago ọ bụrụ na anyị nwa bụ judge anyị abụrụ court mana anyị na-ekwu n'ụdị ihe dị otu a na-emenụ adịrọ mma mana anyị achọrọ ka isi na onye dị otu a mere ihe a mere na o merie ya ọ dịrọ mma.
Daalụ ekene gị maka ihe nji wee jụọ ajụjụ a bụ na o nwere mgbe a sị na ofu nwaanyị si na di wakporo ụmụ ya emechezie achọpụta na ọ bụrụ eziokwu ya bụ na onye mere ụdị omume a na iwu jidoro ya
iwu ji ya jide ya ọfụma
dịka onye jekwa na soshal midia jesi ya asị na onye a mere nke a ma ọ na o mere nke a ọ bụ na emeche chọpụta
iwu ji ya ma onye jekwa na-etretinu mmadụ na Facebook ma na Instagram o all these net ị na-etretinu mmadụ iwu jikwa gị because na a ga-enyekwa gị fine lu up to 25 million or ijeli ya nga 10 years imprisonment because a lot of people amaro na ihe a na-eme because ilu ebe a ifu ka ndị mmadụ na-akọ ọnụ ha na-ekwugasị okwu ọjọọ dị iche iche nke kazi njọ bụ nke AI apụta anụ maka na a ga-ewepụta gị wepụta foto gị isichie gị akwa tọgbọ gị si na ije ebe nwanụ na idinelu onye nwanụ imelụ nke nwa yipụcha gị akwa kopụcha gị akpa iko onye anwa melie and nwere onye amarọ maka AI ga-afụ gị chema eziokwu na-asị ọnụdị ya ka nwaanyị adịzi kedu ihe mezili o ji ebi ụdị ndụ a ụfọdụ a na-akpọghị iyi mana nwere ihe
ọlụ dịkwa ya maka oge ụfọdụ AI mee nke ka m ga-esi wee ma ma ọ bụ eziokwu ma ọ bụrụ asị ka o nwee nke AI mere mfu ebe onye isi obodo na-agba egwu ya na onye isi obodo chibu unu na-agba egwu ha na-agba ụdị egwu a ka ndị nwụrụ kaikai ịjụzi onwe gị onye isi obodo anyị bụ ihe na-agba egwu anụnwa ya bụ na ụdị ha anụnwa barịsta asịkwa m na ọlụ dị na ya
ọlụ dịkwa ya o mana the good thing bụ na otu anyị na-eme ka ndị mmadụ malụ n'ụdị ihe a adịrọkwa mma maka na inwe ike ime enye onye anwa o take the matter up iwu ga-ejidekwa gị ma o take the matter up maka cyber bullying ndị oyibo kpọrọ ya
na-abịa ebe nọ barịsta Ngozi ịma na mgbe ọbụla unu bụ ụmụ nwaanyị na-ekwu okwu ihe unu mma bụ ụmụ nwaanyị gender based violence akụgbuo nwaanyị akụgbuo nwoke ọnụ ụmụ nwoke anọghọ n'ọnọdụ a na-emegide a na-ekwu ihe gbasara ụmụ nwoke na ịntanetị ifuru ha nwoke eyipụrụ afịa ọsọsọ ụmụ nwaanyị kedu ka o si wee bụrụ nke ụmụ nwaanyị bụ ihe na-echu ụlọ ụla
dalụrị ndị ezigbo nwaanyị ọ bụkwa na ụmụ nwoke soro ọ ya ma eji wee kpọkwa ya gender includes nwoke na nwanyị mana ihe eji agbado okwu n'ebe ụmụ nwanyị dị bụ nọ maka na ụmụ nwanyị dị more vulnerable dịka isi wee kwu mbụ na olu na ọgụ nwoke ya aka nwanyị wee nụta ọgụ ahụ so ya ma eji wee dịka si na anyị na-protect secondly ụmụ nwanyị ka ụmụ nwoke kwuo ịmakwa na ụmụ nwoke nwere ike dị na-agabiga ụmụ ihe a akpachie fama nkwu okwu mana ụmụ nwoke kwubokwa okwu na of course anyị apụtala onye ahụ si nwaanyị nekwa ihe ime nwoke a dịrọ mma ihe a ịda iwu so ihe a bụ gender based violence ọ bụrụ gender abụrụ ọsọ nwaanyị gender includes man and woman boy and girl
maka ọtụtụ mgbe ụmụ nwoke emegodo ihe dị otu ifela adịghị ekwe ha pụta afụnụ ha nwoke nwaanyị tiri tigbuo onye nwoke apụta na ọgbọsị na nwunye etiri ya ọ dịrọ mmeso ọ bụrụkwa na unu fụ ụdị ha unu ga-anụkwa nwoke ọgụ
anyị ga-anụ dịka ihe a ikwu kịta gbasatalụ nwaanyị bụ die n'ọwakwa ụmụ ya ka a chọpụta na ihe ahụ abụrụ eziokwu ozugbo eteke ọ nwaanyị na-efesizi the charges now ya na-efesizi the charges for defamation of character ịghọtago so achọpụtara na ụmụ ihe anwa anyị na-apụtala ụmụ nwoke ọ bụrụ sọsọ ụmụ nwaanyị ka anyị na-anụ ụlọ ọgụ anyị na-apụtakwala ụmụ nwoke.
Onye isi oche achọrọ m ịtụnyekwu ọnụ ịma ụmụ nwoke a sị na the court is not a Father Christmas that will give you what you did not demand for. Anyị ama isi n'aka n'ime anyị abụrụ ndị mmụọ, anyị abụrụ spirit, anyị eji wee na-aba n'ụlọ wee na-ama ebe nwaanyị na-akpagbu nwoke wee take up ọ nwoke anwa ka ọ dịla ime ya ọnụ, and anyị na-encourage kwa ha ije outreaches more sensitization otu a anyị na-encourage kwa ha na-asị onwe ihe eme gị ọ ka mma na ikwupụtara ya because ikwupụta ya the burden abụọ gị na-arụ, and ihe ụmụ nwaanyị ji elive longer than ụmụ nwoke ịgwakwaghị nke bụ eziokwu bụ na anyị na-ekwu chọọ and anyị kwucha chọọ anwa anyị adị relieved the burden abụọ gị na-arụ, mana ụmụ nwoke ha na-ekwunu chọọ ha na-ebu ya hili ya ka efe ịghọtago ọ na-anyị ha nke ọbụla ekote ihilu nke ọbụla ekote ikonye, and the burden na pile up ihe ọbụla eme mmadụ bụ n'obi ya ka ọ na-eje ọ nyigide gị obi agbọwa ịpas ya ọ na-enwufuo, and I feel him n'ihe ha ji eme ihe a bụ their ego their pride ọkwa ka ndị nwụọ ịma na apụta asị ọkwa nwaanyị na-etukwu anyụ nwamili nwaanyị anwa na-etukwu anyụ nwamili na-emekwa gị ihe iji achọ ịnwụ, then ị na-ekpuchi onwe gị maka emesi na nwaanyị na-egbu gị. Speak out, because the man say I na fight is for so ụmụ nwaanyị o nwere onye anyị rọrọ gender based violence asị ma nwoke ma nwaanyị ikwupụta anyị ekwu ọnụ nke anyị ekwu anyị ada akwụ na njọ anyị na-ekwu eziokwu, so ịbịa kpegosi ọ bụrụ nwaanyị chọrọ okwu a ga-akọshọnụkwu ya otu esi akọshọnụ nwoke na anyị na fight for ụmụ nwaanyị bụ because they are the most vulnerable, and then ha nwa na-ekwupụtakarị ụmụ nwoke adịghị
ma nke ime ma nke ị na-eme ha otu ibego ja ụwa niile bịakwa gwa ya n'onu
abịanyela ya aka.
Ihe ọzọ nchọ ịjụ biko abalị 16 anụ nwa unu wepụta unu ga-eji wee n'ọdụ a kedu ebumnobi unu, kedu ihe unu chọọ abalị 16 aga, kedu ihe unu chọọ inweta?
Ihe anyị chọọ inweta na abalị 16 bụ ka aghara inwezi gender based violence ka o benata, because na anyị chọpụta na a na-ekwu ọ dịka ọ n'onwebe ihe a na-ekwu ige ntị na redio ị na-anụ, ịgụọ newspaper ị na-anụ, ije na digital space ị na-anụ emekwa onye nwa nke a asụgbukwala onye nwa egbukwala onye nwa like nke mee na Amod ọkwa nwoke ji axe wee gbuwa nwunye ya isi ebe ọ na-alara ụla ọnwụọ anasịkwa na nwaanyị anwa anabugo be ha ka ha nwekata problem ọ nacha be ha ewepụta after how many months or whatever eweyoba the woman ka ọ nachite azụ ama mmolukwa how many months nwa ọ nachitela azụ ewe gbuo onye ihe a ifugi ya. So na it's not as if na adị ekwu but na aicho biko a na-emecha 16 days of activism a ka o benata ka o nwee ihe dị iche kowa n'ụlọ ọnụ anyị ọkwa ya ka anyị ji shout everywhere all over the world onye ọbụla nọ na-ekwulekwu a na-sensitize ndị mmadụ a na-ekwu na-asị na ụdị ihe a adịrọ mma so that ka ndị mmadụ gee ntị mepụtakwana ya n'omume ka ha makwanụ na iwu ji ha na-enwecha laws and ndị amara ọbụ ndị a na-akpagbu amabụrụ na iwu ji ndị na-akpagbu ha ka ha speak out. Onwe ihe emeghi ikwupụta. If you see something you say something, don't keep silent. Ịghọtago ị need ikwupụta ma onwe ka esi akpagbu gị so that you don't die off.
Daalụ rinne. Na mmechi okwu gị barista Ngozi ke ndụmọdụ ị ga-adụ onye na-ege anyị ntị na-enenekwa anyị.
Ihe ndụmọdụ nna adụla onye na-ege anyị ntị ya dịkwa enlightened na iwu asịrọ ignorance of the law abụrụ ihe na-azọ mmadụ n'isi na ịmara na iwu a bụ na iwu a dị ịmara ime ya na ị ga-ana free mba ịdara n'iwu ahụ ọ dịra na n'iwu obodo na ịda iwu ahụ ndị kọt achọrọ ịma na ịma maka ya ka na ịmara maka ya as long as need that give well, you will pay the consequences. So ya nwa bụ ihe nchọ ka ama ya ma eji wepụta taa ka anyị na-agwa ụmụnne anyị na-ekwu ihe a na-ekwu ihe a ihe anyị chekwa na ọ bụrụ ihe ya bụ ime n'ịda iwu ihe a bụkwa iwu ka ịda ihe ahụ no enlightenment ka anyị bịa ihe a ka ndị mmadụ wee na-aghọtakwa n'ihe a na ọ dịrọ mma n'ihe a dị mma
daalụ rinne na mmechi okwu gị barista Sylvia ke ndụmọdụ ị na-adụ onye na-ene n'anya
oke ndụmọdụ na-adụkwa ndị na-ene anya bụ ka ha malụkwa na violence of any sort ma ifulu onye anwa one on one wee na commit the violence ka ije n'ịntanetị wee na-eme ya ije na Facebook ije na Instagram ije na kedafia all these digital spaces wee je na abuse mmadụ ma ọ na-threaten onye anwa ma ọ na-enye false information iwu obodo a jikwa gị na onye anwa bịa kpegosi nekwa ihe ị na-eme ya na-ejidebe gị bụ na ekpebe gị maka na ekpere gị ma na kacha bụ jide ya
daalụ gị bụ onye ọma sonyela anyị ịma na ọtụtụ mgbe onwe ihe dịka mmadụ ịma ihe iwu nyere ọtụtụ ihe na-eme n'ịntanetị ụfọdụ amarụ na onwe nke ọ ga-abịa ime iwu ejudo gị ọtụtụ n'ime anyị na-enefere ihe ụfọdụ anya onwekwe na ihe o mere ịnọkata iwelu foto mmadụ ịtụgbunye na Facebook ịma njukwu ya ọmụtinye nke a ka ọmetinye na nke ọzọ ya bụ na ama m na ihe ndị akọwa tata na onwe ka o si wee baa gị n'arụ maka ọtụtụ amarọ na iwu a dị eri afọ 2015 ka ewepụta iwu a ya bụ na ichekwa na ime nya na ịnago mbakwa kacha m dịkwa ya anaka achịa gị ijebegokwe ma ọ kwụọ fine ana m ekene unu maka isonyere anyị na nke taa daalụ rinne barista Sylvia Abana maka isonyere anyị daalụ barista Ngozi asị m na afọ anụ abafọ maka isonyere anyị na nke taa daalụ rinne o nwere oyibo isoro mgbe a na-achọ ka ntụgharị anya n'Igbo maka na o nwee ka onye ahụ ama nghọta ya mana nsogbu adịrọ maka na ọtụtụ n'ime ndị be anyị ịsụọ n'oyibo ha na-anụ ịsụọ n'Igbo a na-anụ daalụ maka isonyere anyị
daalụ rinne
o wee bụrụ ebe a ka anyị na-ekpokotie ọ ndị aula African Women Lawyers Association nakwa ndị League of Women Voters ọ ha bụ ihe na-anụ ọgụ a ka a ghara imegidezi mmadụ ọ bụ nwoke ọ bụ nwaanyị ọ bụ na emegide gị kpọtụrụ ha ga-anụrụ gị ọgụ ya ma nwetakwa gị ikpe abụ m Ngozi Ọtahumele sonyela anyị na soshal midia anyị na YouTube na Facebook anyị na TikTok na X na Aneke TV ka ịfụ ihe ndị anyị na-eme o wee bụrụ ebe a ka anyị na-ekpokọta nke tata wee luo mgbe ọzọ anyị ga-abịakwa n'ọnụ udo
It's Christmas. The King is born. Hey children, it's time to laugh, to dance and have some fun. Put on your dancing shoes and bring your friends along. Come on, it's the Aneke TV Children's Christmas Party 2025. Let's go! We got dancing, spelling bees, sack race, jumping 1, 2, 3, lots of games and surprises too. All we are waiting for is you. And venue is Aneke TV, number 30, Edinburgh Street, Ogwini Layout, Enugu. Date, Sunday, 14 December 2025. Time is 12 o'clock. Come take your seat. Don't be late. We can't wait to celebrate. Sponsored by Indomie. Yummy treats. Colgate, our smile so sweet. Kellogg's, bring the crunchy cheers. Malta Guinness, energy all year. Powered by Nigerian Breweries. And this is the best party guaranteed. Come one, come all. It's Christmas cheers. Be there. Be happy. The fun, it's here.
The federal government has launched a major drive to recruit thousands of new police officers and security personnel across Nigeria. We are here on the street to ask Nigerians if they would consider applying.
Personally, I want to advise somebody to apply or not to apply. The truth is this: if government involved in this recruitment can be sincere to themselves, we can go in. But sometimes people will tell you that let's go to hunt. At the end of the day, they call you, see your leg is out of this thing. So that's the problem. If they are sincere to themselves, people will come and help. But at the end of the day, you see when they recruit you, they got the back and fire. So that's the way I see it. Well, I'm old enough to involve myself in such a thing now. But the young ones I want to involve themselves. Let them do that. But let the government be sincere to themselves. Give them backup. No backup. Not when you give somebody salt to go and say you draw rent to beat that person. It's not good.
Police. For what? I like my life. Me where they could cost police people now, maybe they can't they cost me too. No. No is the answer, please. I don't find it honorable enough to serve this country in that capacity. Policemen, they are not as valued as they are in other countries. So why lay down your life for a country that does not care about you as a citizen first? Obuluze police. It doesn't make sense to me. There are places where, there are countries where if you open up mass recruitment, they will flock to join, but ask some other person, 1 out of 100 people will not even join. And even if they do join, they are joining because of lack of jobs, just something to be doing for the meantime before they get something better, because police in Nigeria is not a noble profession.
Some people may say, I love to be a soldier. But for me, even if a soldier to marry a soldier, I don't like it. Police and all of them is what? The same thing. And they're not uniform people. That is, I don't like anything uniform. I don't know why.
Yes, I will. To protect my country and also to serve as a youth.
With the new mass recruitment, I would consider applying, but if the condition for applying is that I'll be sent to fight the war, I don't think I would. Not in the sense that I wouldn't, with the right training, I wouldn't be able to do the job, but I'm an only child. So I consider the fate of others, my mother especially, before any decision I make. If in the future, when peace has been achieved, if there comes an opportunity that comes up for me to be in any law enforcement agency, then fine and good, we'll do it. But for now, the instability would not help me, would not allow me to do that.
As Nigerians steps up efforts to tackle insecurity, the public's interest in joining the police and security forces seems mixed. I am Chinaza Ifeanyi, reporting for Aneke TV.
Aneke telivishọn heu agịrịgbo m dị egwu nkwa azụghị n'ahịa mgbochi ogwugwu kakwa ogwugwu mma heu mba ụwa bịa na ihe ebube eme mgbagbu ụwa gbatawa na ihe ebube emewa. Aneke telivishọn na-emerụ ogbenye emere amadi ihe, ị na-agba nkwụ, ị na-eme nkepụta nwa, ị na-akwa ozu, ị na-agba akwụkwọ. Bịawa na Aneke telivishọn, bịa ka ezuoru gị ozi ọma. Bịawa na Aneke telivishọn yidume heu na-emere ogbenye emere amadi ihe. Ụmụ Igbo bịawo na nke a bụ nke anyị. Ị mara ebe oge ọrụ etighị ụmọnwụ ntakịrị tụkwamogbu si nne ya mere ha ji wee weta Aneke telivishọn. Ọ bụ onye gbagburu agụ nna, ọ dị na soshal midia, ọ dị na mgbagbu, ọ dị n'Enugu State, ọ dị na
God. God is not far. He is in the stillness after the chaos, in the laughter of children, in the stranger who smiled at you for no reason. He is not confined to buildings or books. He walks with us in dust and rain, in heartbreak and healing. He is the answer before we even speak. To seek God is to seek love, and to find God, truly find Him, is to love deeper, live fuller, and give without counting.
Imo State unfolds like a living poem, a tapestry of memory aspiration, and transformation. Here, history is not settled in the past, but continues to move forward, carried in the footsteps of Imolites, whose resolve and optimism animate every corner of the land. The people and their spirit Imolites are renewed for their courage, enterprise, and intellect. From the bustling avenues of Owerri to the rolling hills of Idato, both the young and the old carry a quiet, steadfast conviction. Education is not just a means to an end, but a calling. Their ambition lives in the classrooms, in labs, in markets, and in the global Imo diaspora. Imo's cultural heartbeat is rhythmic and rich. High life melodies mingle with gospel harmonies and modern beats, each song echoing ancestral memory and youthful vigor. Traditional dances carry stories of community, origin, and resilience, even as innovation blossoms, rooted in respect for heritage. Infrastructure and roads. Under Governor Hope Uzodimma, Imo has undergone what many describe as a road revolution. The administration claims to have delivered over 120 quality roads within 5 years. Notable among them are the dualized Owerri-Olo and Owerri-Okigwe roads. The Mbidi-Oguta Road and 18-kilometer dual carriageway was commissioned in early 2025, aiming to boost economic activities in Uru West and Oguta LGAs, especially by connecting to the Orashi Energy Free Trade Zone. Other signature infrastructure includes the Azamta flyover to decongest traffic and the Emmanuel Iwanyam International Conference Center, which has been built to world-class standards. Governor Uzodimma has also stated that these infrastructure investments are not just for mobility, but are economic corridors intended to stimulate trade, reduce travel time, and integrate Imo's communities more closely. Under human capital development, health and education, and on health, the Governor Uzodimma administration reports a comprehensive revamp. Renovation of 305 health centers, purportedly one in each electoral ward. Establishment of 55 new primary health centers, announced in 2025 to expand access, particularly in rural areas. Construction of 3 new general hospitals at Ohaji, Oguta, and Omuma. Revitalization of the Imo State University Teaching Hospital and the Specialist Hospital, plus re-accreditation of nursing and midwifery schools. Creation of a state health insurance scheme known as Imo Health Insurance, which has reportedly covered more than 66,000 residents. Deployment of mobile clinics to reach rural and underdeserved communities. In education, Governor Uzodimma has significantly expanded tertiary education. What was once one functioning public university has grown to 3, along with a polytechnic and a college of education. He has also prioritized youth empowerment and governance that are strong signals of financial reforms. According to some reports, Uzodimma has focused heavily on capital spending, budgeting major parts of the state resources towards infrastructure and development. Then, Imo under Emeka Ihedioha, renewal and vision. While much of the recent narrative focuses on Governor Uzodimma, it is important to acknowledge the contributions of his predecessor, Chief Emeka Ihedioha. Through his rebuild Imo agenda, Chief Ihedioha prioritized environmental renewal, There were efforts to restore drainage, improve waste management, plant community trees, and reintroduce refuse compactor vehicles. He also restructured state finances, including implementing a treasury single account for greater financial discipline and automating revenue collection to improve the state's internally generated revenue. In agriculture, Chief Ihedioha launched initiative called Rice Revolution to boost rice production, turn rural youths into farmers, and partner with the private sector for food security. For youth and sports, Chief Ihedioha's government reportedly worked on sports infrastructure across the 27 local government areas, envisioning healthy, active youth participation in sports. What truly defines Imo is its resilience. Where decay once prevailed, renewal now pauses. Where neglect reigned, leadership dares to imagine. The story of Imo is not only about roads and hospitals, it is about a people who refuse to accept stagnation, who carry their heritage with dignity, and who dare to dream of a better tomorrow. As night falls over palm-lined hills and Owerri streets, hum with life, Imo is not just a place, it is a promise built in classrooms, clinics, markets, and fields. In its people lies its greatest wealth, and in its bold, forward-looking dreams, its greatest power.
Sex is sacred, not shameful. In its truest form, it is more than the body. It is soul speaking to soul,